Statesboro, Georgia for Sun Belt Conference football on ESPN. It is a beautiful Saturday evening in perfect football weather as Georgia Southern welcomes in the Maine Black Bears in their final non-conference game of the season. Last week, Georgia Southern got their first win of the year, a thriller against the defending Conference USA champions in Jax State, while Maine still looking for their first win after a heartbreaker in their home opener against Stonehill. Welcome to Paulson Stadium. He's Jason Foster, Sky Taylor on sideline. I'm Danny Wall. Now that the Eagles have gotten their first win of the year, Jason, how do they keep that momentum going against Maine tonight?
Yeah, for the Eagles, it's pretty simple. It all begins with defense. They have to stay attacking the football, going fast, make sure they get the ball on the ground, and then also leverage the football and give their offense short fields to get touchdowns.
It was the defense that really held things down for the Eagles in the fourth quarter. Defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey talked about how they want to keep that together for a full 4 quarters. They're facing a Maine team that, even though they're 0-3 on the year, they do great in limiting offenses from scoring, just averaging 280 yards total on the year. For more on this game tonight, we send it down to our own Sky Taylor with more.
Georgia Southern has the power of Paulson advantage where they normally dominate their opponents, but tonight all eyes are going to be on the running backs. Georgia Southern's O.J. Arnold found the end zone twice last weekend against Jacksonville State, while Maine's Sincere Baines is nearly running 8 yards a carry, almost moving the chains by himself every time that he touches the football. So the question, who will control the backfield tonight? Only time can tell.
You look at these running backs, thank you, Sky. Jason, what's the biggest thing that stands out about the two?
If you watch both running backs, Baines and Arnold, they're both very patient, and also when they put their foot in the ground, they have the explosive ability to go all the way to the end zone. And if you come back with Arnold, he does the same thing. He's very patient, quick footwork, and he's also explosive in the ability to create big plays as well.
The Eagles finally got their first rushing touchdowns on the year in the week. Georgia Southern will receive to start this game. We are underway in Paulson Stadium. On the run is Jamarian Samuel. He gets across the 35, tackled at the 38. Flags are out. And what a return. Special teams was the big factor for Georgia Southern.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 6. 10-yard penalty.
Penalty will be an illegal block in the back on Georgia Southern. Our referee, Scott Broadway. But, Jason, it was special teams that really played a key factor in the win last week.
Yes, I believe special teams basically set the tone for the Eagles last week. Get the kickoff return, also coming in and hitting clutch field goals. And like Coach Helton said, non-offensive touchdowns are the best thing for a team.
We'll see how the Eagles offense will do to start. We'll see quarterback J.C. French IV. He had a passing touchdown and actually scored the first rushing touchdown in the opening drive for Georgia Southern against Jax State. The penalty will put the Eagles all the way back at the 15-yard line. First play is a play action. French going to air it out deep. He has Dalen Cobb, who can't make the catch. But what a route by Cobb. He was wide open. That would have been an easy 6.
Yeah, definitely a great route. Put his foot in the ground, ran the high post with a dig route on the backside. French laid it out there. Just unfortunately couldn't come down with the ball. This is a runaway touchdown right here. Definitely a great call by Coach Applin to get him backed up to start the game.
Gotta love how Ryan Applin, offensive coordinator, going right with a deep shot to start on the first play. O.J. Arnold on the carry on second down, gets the minimal gain. Arnold had his second 100-yard rushing game in his career. 128 yards and 2 scores against Jax State. That brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Arnold, he had a very good game. As the game went on, you could tell he was feeling the run more and more, and it's something they're looking to do this game as well.
The Eagles also were efficient on 3rd downs, one of the big improvements Georgia Southern made, 7 of 11 last Saturday. French across the middle, incomplete. And that went right past Marcus Sanders Jr. That's 2 passes on that first drive that would have been easy catches for the receiving corps.
Yeah, definitely easy catches. Both of them should have been catching runs. Right now, I think the Eagles just got to focus in a little bit. They're shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak.
Maine catching a break on this 3-and-out. So we'll see the punt team and Alex Smith going to send this one deep. Back to return is Scott Woods, and taken down immediately. What a play made by Taylor Bradshaw.
Special team coverage is just as important as the return game right there as well. That can also ignite your team and get the defense rallied and ready to get on the field as well.
That's what Clay Helton said. He wanted his special teams to be consistent, getting into an elite standard. Now we'll see the Black Bears offense led by Carter Peavy making his return to the state of Georgia. He started his career at Mercer. He played high school football at Archer High in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Bears will start from the 30. First play up the middle, Sincere Baines bouncing outside. Baines across midfield, and you already see how elusive Baines can be leading the Black Bears offense.
Right, and you see his patience as he goes through the hole and just kind of bounces it outside, cuts himself upfield once he puts his foot in the ground. Right, Georgia Southern's in a position to make a tackle, shakes him off, then he just outrun him to the sideline. Great job by Baines.
Explosive play of 22 yards for Baines. First play of the Black Bears offense. Now in Eagle territory at the 48. Peavy throwing near side to Baines again. And that's the thing about Baines being an elite playmaker. Offensive coordinator Mikael Waters talked about how Baines has great vision and continues to gain confidence. Justin Myers made the tackle.
Yeah, but he's a complete player. As you see him come out of the backfield and catch the ball as well. They're going to try to put him in the game plan to give him as many touches as possible.
Gain of 3 on the pass from Peavy. Play action, throwing far side, is caught by Mo Irfin. Irfin had the only touchdown for the Black Bears against Stonehill with a jet sweep right at the goal line.
Yes, Irfin is someone they believe can make big plays as well. As he gets off the ball right here, snaps his head around, all hands on the catch, pulling it into his body. Great job at the top of the route for him.
1-2 punch of the receiving corps. Going to be Mo Irfin and Scott Woods for this Black Bears offense. Get the first down at the 30. Play action again. Pressure coming. Pass caught far side. Eli Mahan gets his first reception of the season.
Great job by Peavy right here, just getting the ball out, taking what the defense gives him. It looked like he wanted to take the deep crosser, come back to his check down, just keep the chains moving, getting positive yards on the first down.
Head coach Jordan Stevens said he wanted his team to put together some drives and be more explosive. You are seeing that in this opening drive. Only a gain of 3 for Mahan. Second down, Peavy will keep, and he has a straight line to the end zone. Maine strikes first.
Yeah, this is something that Georgia Southern did not see last game. Peavy did not carry the ball much on the zone read. As he pulls this one out, all the linebackers for Georgia Southern are fooled right here. He comes out to an empty side and basically stroll into the end zone here.
27 yards untouched, caps off a 5-play, 70-yard drive. The running game of Carter Peavy is one thing that the Maine coaches were excited to see this year. Last season, he was banged up throughout the year and didn't really get to use his feet as much. But it is working. He gets his second rushing touchdown on the year. 7-0 Maine. Watch how Peavy goes untouched to the house.
Yeah, it looked like they had 3 people trying to tackle the dive right there. There's something Georgia Southern has to get fixed in a hurry.
More to come after the break. Eagles hit the football when we return on ESPN+. 7-0 Maine in the first quarter. Going to look at head coach Jordan Stevens in his 4th season with the Black Bears. Talked about how his team needed to do a better job playing complementary football. They couldn't put together drives to score last week against Stonehill, but Jason, on their opening drive, Carter Peavy, 27 yards, went untouched, capping off a 5-play drive.
Yeah, that's exactly how you script the first series right there. Everything they called worked, and that's stuff you can build off of going into the game. I believe they're going to keep that zone read in the playbook here.
The Eagles head coach Clay Helton was proud of the way that the offense grew from week to week. Samuel on the return, taken down right by the 30. But in the Eagles' first drive, Jason, we saw 2 catchable balls. One would have been an easy touchdown for Dalen Cobb. The other, a 3rd down incompletion to Marcus Sanders. How do they clean that up second drive out?
Right, I think they got to come in with a little bit more focus. The plays are there. Coach Adams calling them a great game right now, but just focus in, calm down, and get back to doing what they usually do, and that's catching the football.
The Eagles will have it at the 28. French screenplay and another drop ball from Cobb.
Yeah, they're just a little off rhythm right now. Throws a little bit out front, but definitely hit him in both hands. I think he's trying to run with it, make a big play. Again, the play call's there. They just got to calm down and make plays here.
Interesting to see here to start. Cobb led the Eagles with 6 receptions, had 70 yards last week against Jack State.
Yeah, and he's usually sure-handed. It'll be something they'll clean up here.
4 receivers set on 2nd and 10. Another throw, that time complete to Sanders. Bring up 3rd and short.
Nice throw right here, on rhythm. Since he hits back foot, lets the ball go. 8-9-yard completion. Now they're able to run the ball on 3rd down and get to these 3rd and short situations.
2 yards to go from the 36-yard line.
Sanders had 3 catches last week. It's his first for a gain of 8. It'll be 3rd and 2, rather 3rd and 4. So in the opening minutes of the first quarter, Arnold up the middle, ball is out, and it's scooped up by the Black Bears. Jamari Gibson with the fumble recovery. How about the defense for Maine to start?
This is exactly what Coach Stevens asked about. Creating turnovers, controlling the football, controlling the offense's tempo. Right now they're slanting through the field. Defender come in and put his helmet on the football, pops right out of there. And great job making the recovery to be aware.
Maine is fired up. First a 3 and out, and now a turnover.
They're slanting the line. OJ makes a good cut. Nice hit right there. Put the head on the football.
Yeah, Malcolm Folk got his hat to the football right here. And then it was Gibson that scooped it up. Maine with field position right at the 50. Peavy, handoff to Nick Laughlin. Laughlin bursting of speed, gets a first down. Nick Laughlin missed the first couple of weeks due to an injury. Came back last week against Stonehill, had 6 carries and a reception.
Coach Waters was dying to get him back. They knew he could make some plays out here in the offense, and they're going to keep feeding him the ball.
Wasting no time, Peavy going to scramble, and he gets sacked. A bright spot from the Eagles defense, taken down by Keba Seka.
Yeah, that looked like a cover sack right there. I think a good job of not throwing the ball right here. The Eagles did a good job covering up everybody. Peavy just protected the ball. Didn't make a bad play worse.
Decided to just take the hit, be a loss of 4. But a wise decision that Peavy made.
Very wise. Protect the football. That's what Maine wants to do.
Laughlin still a running back. Quick throw and bounces out of Irafin's hands. Tracy Hill Jr. on the coverage for the Eagles.
Eagles have a big 3rd down right here to get themselves off the field. I know Coach Bailey would love for them to respond, and they got a chance to do it right here.
3rd downs was a struggle for the Black Bears last week against Stonehill. 3 of 12. They're 27% overall this season.
Being at 3rd and 14 doesn't help you either. You fight for the first down play to generate you a couple yards. This is the danger zone when you're in 3rd down, when you're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13.
Peavy throws, pass caught, but won't be enough for a first down. Tackle made by Justin Myers and Dorian Smith. Now we'll see what the Black Bears do here on fourth.
Again, another great job by Peavy just spreading the zone right there. As he hooks up in it, he takes a quick 3-step drop, just fires the ball there in between zone. Gives them a chance to go for it on fourth down here.
Scott Woods made the catch. Black Bears offense will stay out on 4th and 6. 5 of 10 on fourth downs this year. 0 of 2 against Stonehill. Peavy gets out of the tackle. Lets it go. And it is...
I think they called
They're
it a
saying it's
catch.
complete. Catch was made by Woods. And that puts the Black Bears in the red zone.
Great play by Peavy from avoiding the sack right here. Georgia Southern has a free rusher. You got to make this tackle right here. He shakes free. He just gets the ball up there. Gives his receiver a chance. Now, I believe they're going to call him out of bounds on the replay here.
The previous play is under video review.
We will have our first review, and you see here. What do you see, Jason?
I believe he's stepping on the line and his right foot comes down. Looks like he's on the page, just a few inches right there. Game of inches. Great concentration to catch that football, though. In traffic, going out of bounds, trying to toe tap.
We're already seeing in the opening quarter, Carter Beebe going to his playmakers in Woods and Irfin. Offensive coordinator Mikael Waters said that Woods is dynamic with the ball in his hands.
I like the aggressive call by Maine. They're going for it. They come out here to get a win. Not punt the ball and make Georgia Southern play defense.
Clay Elton saying that's incomplete. He's out. That right foot is what we are looking at of Woods. It's more so been just the struggles for Georgia Southern and Maine capitalizing off of their mistakes here to start this game.
Yeah, for sure. Maine, they're feeding off what Georgia Southern.
After video review, the pass is incomplete. The runner did not get a foot inbound prior to maintaining possession. That'll be first and 10,
Woods,
Georgia Southern.
while great effort, pass was incomplete. Turnover on downs. The Eagles will get the football when we come back after the break. 8:36 to go in the first. 7-0 Black Bears on ESPN+. Eagles get the stop on 4th down, still 7-0 Maine. Defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey talked about this week's phrase is to raise the standard. It's all about the process, not result-driven.
Yes, defense, they've been doing a great job of getting off the field. And like Coach Bailey wanted them to do, just do what you know what to do, all right?
As the Eagles make their way back out on offense, we have a special interview down the field with our own Sky Taylor, one of the men responsible for bringing Georgia Southern football to Statesboro, former President Dale Lick.
Danny, just like you just said, this man right here is responsible for building the ground, or hiring Coach Irk Russell, who built this football program from the ground up. Coach, can you talk to me a little bit about your process of hiring Coach Irk Russell?
Well, I looked at the top people I could find, and I found 3 people that I thought might work, but Irk Russell stood out. But he was very careful because he didn't want to alienate the people at Georgia if I didn't hire him. And so when I told him I wanted him to come, he wanted to come. But we kept it a secret, so he stayed at our house the night before, and it wasn't until that morning when we met with the press that Irk Russell stepped out as our new football coach.
Being here on Paulson Stadium's field, all the fans, the crowd, even the marching band, what is one message that you could say to Eagle Nation?
Well, I think maybe never give up. They fought me really hard to bring football here. They really didn't want Georgia Southern to develop as a full university. And so they fought me at every turn. And we just had to go on. But this wasn't their doing. I had that decision. And I knew we had to do it. And so I found people around the community who I trusted and wanted to be involved, and they then supported it and said, we can do it, we will do it. And then I found a man to give us $1 million to build the stadium. And I found another man who really wanted to have his name on the stadium, but he wasn't going to come up with $1 million. But he did all the dirt work. He did all the dirt work for nothing. He wouldn't take anything, and he wouldn't let me name anything after him. And so, anyway, it all worked out unbelievably well.
Well, thank you so much for being here and doing this interview with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Dale Lick. And you look at 40-plus years later, 6 national championships, and this is an amazing foundation of what Georgia Southern football has become, Jason. You were part of that as well over your time here as a quarterback.
Yeah, this is definitely grown and grown as a program. Again, thank you for bringing it here. This is something that's a staple of the community here. I think in South Georgia, you think about the Eagles, and it's going to continue to just grow and grow.
The Eagles are moving down the field, 2nd and 5 from the 32. Hand off to Jamarian Samuel. He gets stopped. You're going to see a good mix of running backs for Georgia Southern in this game. You got a 1-2 punch of Arnold and David Badinga, also a 3-4 punch of Jamarian Samuel and Terrence Gibbs.
And I think that's a great strategy by Georgia Southern. Obviously, with Maine having the struggles in the 4th quarter, I think Georgia Southern running more running backs at them and using their big line to lean on them can wear them down eventually later on in the game.
5th play of the drive. 3rd and 5 from the 32. French gets out of traffic, now uses his feet. They'll see where they put the ball, mark the spot. They will give French a 1st down.
Just like last week, I think French using his feet is going to be a catalyst for Georgia Southern offense. Those 3- and 4- 5-yard runs to keep the chains moving will make it very tough to guard Georgia Southern going forward. Kind of just sneaks up through there. He sees the sticks, does not slide, and he's going for that 1st down.
See a massive improvement from the Eagles on this drive compared to the first 2 with a 3-and-out and a turnover. From the 27. Quick pass to Camden Brown. Brown, a deep ball playmaker. Had a receiving touchdown to start the second quarter against Jack State last week.
Yeah, I think he's got an end zone every game this year, and I'm sure he's looking to get in there again. He's such an explosive player, and he has great size and great hands. I think the more you feed him, the better off the offense will be.
4 receiving touchdowns is already halfway towards tying the single-season reception touchdowns record.
Yeah, I think you can consider that broke. I think he's on his way to break the Georgia Southern receiving record here.
Still plenty of season to go, plenty of football to play. 2nd and 5 from the 22. Arnold gets the first down and puts the Eagles in the red zone.
That's the patience we spoke about earlier, how he kind of stutters his feet. And as soon as the opens up, he explodes through it, and he's always finishing forward.
It's Arnold. While the Eagles rotated running backs, Arnold took over in the 4th, being able to lead the Eagles to victory, scored the go-ahead touchdown late. 1st and 10 from the 16. Arnold. It's going to gain about 1 to 2 yards.
Coach DeMaio had a little bit enough for Georgia Southern run. He sends a little nickel blitz off the corner right there, try to keep the ball inside. I think they're going to have to kind of keep shooting secondary players to control Georgia Southern run.
Coach DeMaio talked about wanting his team to play with poise, play hard, fast, and physical. Gain of 2 from Arnold. He will get it again. Absorbs contact and gets the first down. Brings up 1st and goal.
I think they're going to call him a little short, Danny. Oh, did they move it?
Yeah, you were right, partner. It is going to be 3rd and about inches. And player down for the Eagles. That's the right tackle, Robert Wright Jr. You saw there, once Arnold got close, Wright went down. He was a bit frustrated trying to get back up. He gets up easily and is walking off the trainer.
Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I know he wants to be out there, especially as you get in the red zone. You want to be part of the scoring drive, and they punch it into the end zone if they can.
Yeah, well, a key piece of the O-line in the win over Jack State.
The O-line did a very good job against Jack State in the run game and the pass game. Very good in protection, and they were able to run the ball at the end of the game, something they're looking to do here.
Both Robert Wright and Johnny Brown, the third, the left tackle, was named to the PFF Group of 6 O-line of the week. So this will be 3rd and 1 from the 7. Arnold at running back. French keeps it and gets the first down.
Love the call right there. They keep it simple, get under center, and just fall forward for a couple of yards. They don't hike it back, don't give themselves a chance to lose yards.
You're seeing a lot more quarterback keeps, especially if you look at the NFL and the Eagles leading the tush push. Not really a tush push there for French, but he got it anyway.
Yeah, you only need a couple of inches. You just double the nose, get in behind him, and get your first down.
14th play of the drive coming up. From the 4, Arnold. Touchdown.
The footwork that Arnold showed right there, I know it's only a 2 or 3 yard run, but as you watch him as he gets in the hole, he kind of plants the left foot, jump cut to the right, slices in there, then finds the end zone. This is a great run for a 3-yard touchdown.
3rd rushing touchdown on the year for the senior from Quitman, Georgia. And Georgia Southern, finally after 2 drives that did not go their way, put together a 14-play, 68-yard drive, taking off over 5 minutes of the clock.
Yeah, 14-play drive is demoralizing for a defense. Takes the soul out of them right there. And again, gives their defense a chance to rest and get their wits about them.
They wore the Black Bears defense down the entire way through. Trent Bryant on the PAT is good. The Eagles tie this up at 7. Over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Arnold gets in there. Watch the vision, the cut. 2 cuts right there, then runs through an arm tackle. Powers his way into the end zone. He may be small, but he's a goal line specialist.
but we back.
Student section packed out here on a beautiful Saturday evening in Paulson Stadium. The power of Paulson can be a real thing. It was for the Eagles last week in their win over Jack State and Georgia Southern. Getting back in a rhythm. 14-play drive, capped off with a run by O.J. Arnold. And the Black Bears have been solid in the first quarter, limiting points. When you have a 14-play drive like that the Eagles had, Jason, that can wear you out real quick.
Yeah, that's like a body shot in the boxing match right there. That's a lot of plays to defend. You're getting to see a lot of things on tape or in person that you have not seen on tape. So it gives them a lot to study. I know they're looking to get off the field quickly, but Georgia Southern did a good job by running and throwing the football, a nice mix to keep the Black Bears on the field.
Well, the defense for Maine is out there for a long time. It gives the offense plenty of time to rest as they make their way back out. And the Black Bears offense had 2 solid drives. They had the touchdown to start, almost a catch made by Scott Woods if he stayed in bounds, but
right, they've been improving from week to week, and no different this game. They're showing life on this one.
25, bouncing outside, Sincere Baines. And Baines continuing to work, just his second carry. But when he gets the ball, Jason, he is explosive.
Yeah, that's his second explosive run. Both times he's got to the outside with the in and out move, trying to get to the sideline. The Eagles got to do a better job of containing him, because if he gets to the sideline, he can take it all the way to the house in one play.
Transfer out of UNC Pembroke. First season with the Black Bears from Fayetteville, North Carolina. A gain of 8 on that carry. Baines will get it again. Gets the first down, and you saw there briefly over 13 yards per carry for the Black Bears offense.
Yeah, right now they're doing what they want on offense. They got the 2 tight end sets, just basically running it right at Georgia Southern, doubling up, pulling the guard upfield. And it looks like right now Georgia Southern linebackers are a little lost trying to find the football.
The Eagles are without one of their linebackers for the first half, and Brandon Tyson, who was ejected in the second half against Jack State for targeting. Oh, Laughlin able to retrieve that ball down, but a short gain.
Yeah, short gain right there, but the right throw to make. He gets that on his chest. I think he can turn upfield and run. Georgia Southern blitz, and they threw exactly where the blitz come from. Nice call right there.
When you have Laughlin back, you're able to distribute the ball out more. New quarterback in, and Caden Drezick, redshirt sophomore. He made the pass to Laughlin. Laughlin on second down, a short gain. And for Drezick, that was his first pass on the year complete.
Yeah, he came in, did exactly what he was supposed to do. He threw the ball where it needed to go. A little high, but he's kind of settling into his zone. Give him something short and easy, and he'll continue to improve throughout the game.
3rd and 7. Maine will try to get this play off before the quarter ends. They will not. And that will end the first, tied at 7. Maine took advantage of the Eagles' mistakes to start. Carter Peavy with the rushing touchdown, with the Eagles answering back on a 14-play drive, capped off with O.J. Arnold scoring his 3rd touchdown of the year. Second quarter coming up after the break on ESPN+. Get all of ESPN College Football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Second quarter underway from Paulson Stadium, tied up at 7. Caden Drezick still in at quarterback for the Black Bears. Be 3rd and 7 from the 42. Drezick scrambles, throws, overshoots his target, incomplete.
I think they had the right call right there. Just kind of missed him. Second throw he's had high. Georgia Southern did a good job making a move out of the pocket, but he's got to put that throw on Irfin right there. That should be a first down catch. It gets out, just sails on him just ever so slightly.
Interesting to see Drezick here in the last few plays. Maine. Carter Peavy got off to a great start in the first quarter.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a change of pace or they just want to give Georgia Southern a different look.
You see Anthony Pecorella on the punt. That one drops and reflects off the Eagles. Fight for control of the ball. Peyton Plott was there on the return. He couldn't hang on to it. He fell on it in time. Plott still the starting punt returner. Georgia Southern still have some injuries to some key players.
Yeah, had a low kick right there. He wanted to return it because I think he had an open field. Just got a bad read off the foot. If he catches it, I think he's up the sideline with no pressure. Kind of caught him in between bounces. I'm sure next time Coach Helm scoot up a little bit.
Normally it's Josh Dallas that does the punt return. Dallas is out for another week. Along with a couple of other players for the Eagles. Georgia Southern will start this drive from the 27. David Badinga in at running back. Hand off to Cobb. Cobb spins and tackled at the 38. How do the Eagles need to be more consistent offensively now that they've gotten it done in their last drive?
Yeah, I think, again, giving them jet sweeps, different looks, getting Cobb in motion. Also switching up the pace of getting on the ball quickly and hiking it.
French throws, pass caught. Eagles get a first down across midfield. Sanders with the reception.
Yeah, French is throwing in rhythm right now. I think you'll get right back on the ball if I'm them. Call another play. And when you call it fast, Maine pretty much has to play base defense here.
French now 6 of 10 passing. And another touch pass. Fakes the reverse. Cobb will keep. Cobb down the sideline out. Across inside the 35.
Cobb is a very good runner when he has the ball in his hands as well. I know he has some struggles with a couple drops here to start the game. But when the ball's in his hand, he's something special with it.
You're starting to see the Eagles wake up a bit since the struggles in the first 2 drives of the game. From the 33, Badinga tackled at the 30, surrounded by a swarm of Black Bears.
Good push by Georgia Southern O-line. I think first contact on the running back's 4 or 5 yards downfield. Coach Appleton will live with that. You can run the ball all day as long as Maine stays in 2 high safeties.
Also a positive sign, Robert Wright back out on the field. French will scramble on 2nd and 5, throws it away.
Good throwaway right there. I think they wanted to take a shot deep. And Coach Appleton said when it is not there, he does a good job of pulling it down. Again, not making the bad play worse.
Coach Appleton talked about French always gives the offense a chance to be successful and talked about what he does when nobody's looking. That's the separator as a quarterback in terms of French's leadership.
Yeah, preparation is everything, especially in today's game. The quarterbacks get so much information. You got to be able to process it quickly and also give it out to your teammates.
3rd and 5. Up the middle as Badinga cuts past a tackle and gets the first down.
All of Georgia Southern backs have great vision. They know when to cut, know when to keep it inside, and also know when to bounce. The O-line's just leading the way right here, leaning on Maine's defense. And Maine's lined up in a weird front. They have 2 4-eyes with no one in the middle of the field.
Screen play. Taylor Bradshaw inside the 10. Brings up 1st and goal. Again,
Georgia Southern staying on the gas. I think fatigue's catching up with Maine right here. They need a big play or a TFL to kind of catch their breath. French just hikes and gets that ball out there on the perimeter, making the D-line run and breaking tackles out there, trying to find the end zone.
Block from Sanders as well. 8th play of the drive. From the 7, Badinga. Got inside the 5. We'll see where forward progress puts him. Gets ripped away by Christian Thomas, who's been the leader of the Black Bears defense.
Christian Thomas, he's the playmaker. He's the one who can win a one-on-one pass rush, but he also can play the run just as well. To me, he's the leader of their defense, and he's the playmaker. They're looking for a big play from right here, trying to get another TFL or possibly a turnover.
They had Jamarian Samuel and O.J. Arnold on the field at the same time. Samuel comes off. Arnold will be the only running back. It's a gain of 3. French quick throw, incomplete, intended for Bradshaw.
Very tight coverage right there. Devin Vaught is all over him. I think it was pretty good coverage. It was a tight space. He didn't give up an inch. I think that's clean football right there. Good coverage. Georgia Southern looking to convert here on 3rd down.
3rd and goal from the 4. 10th play of the drive coming up. French throws, incomplete. Was looking for Camden Brown in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, they try to run a quick corner right here, just a little out of his reach. I like moving the pocket, give him something different to contain. Just missed the throw.
The Eagles will bring out the field goal unit. True freshman Trip Bryant was clutch last week against Jack State. Took his first 2 career field goal attempts, one from 37 and the other from 43. This one will be shorter, only 21. Nails it with ease, and the Eagles lead 10-7. Bryant caps off a 10-play, 69-yard drive, taking over 3 minutes off the clock. Then gets the football. We come back on ESPN+.
Welcome back to Statesboro, and what we just saw is freshman Trip Bryant, the kicker for Georgia Southern, and might as well say they might have found their next big-time kicker in true freshman Trip Bryant. The Lexington, South Carolina native hadn't had a chance to attempt a field goal in his first 2 games. The opportunities just hadn't come yet, but when his number was called last week, he delivered. He went 2 for 2, including a 43-yarder in the 4th quarter that tied the game and completely shifted the momentum Shelton said he's never been more proud of a rookie, pointing out the confidence that he showed walking out there. No nerves, no fear, just drilled it straight down the middle and with some authority too.
Thanks, Guy. Bryant now a perfect 3 of 3 in field goals on the Black Bears return. Taken down at the 29-yard line was Trevin Ewing. So now, as Maine makes their way back out offensively, how do they keep their momentum going following the first quarter where they were able to find some momentum to start the game?
Yeah, I think they got to look for Sincere Baines. I mean, he's been everything for them right there. He's caught the ball. He's caught the ball well. He's been great on the run game. I think you can use him to start it. Then you're looking for Irfin over the top. But right now, Maine needs to get their playmakers the ball.
Well, it all starts on first down, and they have been efficient, averaging 7 yards per first down play. Trips right. Drezek still in at quarterback, and what a play made by the Eagles.
MJ Stroud, he just exploded off the end right there like he knew that play was coming. Big TFL throwing Maine off rhythm.
Like you see in the run game for the Black Bears, the Eagles are focusing more on stopping their running backs and Baines.
Correct. Right before the play, you saw Brendan Harrington trying to get everybody lined up in the right position. I think now they're starting to settle in and know their keys and should be playing a lot faster in the second quarter.
A loss of 1 after the tackle for loss from the redshirt junior from Covington, Georgia. Baines on the carry. He gets that yard back and then some. Tracy Hill making the tackle.
You see Maine's effort trying to run the football, making Georgia Southern stay true to what they do. But right now, Georgia Southern doing a good job of countering and playing downhill, forcing again another 3rd and long. And obviously, 3rd and long is not the situation that Maine wants to be in with the struggles they're having throwing the football early in the season.
Also the struggle they've had on 3rd down all season long. Tonight, 0 of 2.
I think Georgia Southern's going to actually pressure on this one right here, trying to get the ball out quick and make a tackle. There it comes.
Drezek scrambles, pressure, breaks a tackle, spins, and out at the 30. The Eagles, the 3 and out. How about that from the defense?
I like the change of pace right there on 3rd down. Send the dogs after him, get him off his spot, make him do something he's not comfortable with, and that's running the football. I think the Eagles right now kind of settled in. They figured out what they want to do to attack Maine's offense right now. Maine needs to come back with some counters and screens, kind of slow this pass rush down.
We'll also see how Peyton Plott returns this punt. After the first one was a low reception that bounced right in front of him.
It looks like he's up a little closer right now.
Almost blocked. And Plott, fair catch called at the 33.
Look at a roughing the game, I think, on this one. Georgia Southern had a chance to block it, but missed the ball.
Flags everywhere on the field. Let's see what Scott Broadway has to say, our referee.
Two penalties on the Eagles.
Now you have some communication. Speaking of head coach Jordan Stevens for Maine.
Looked like they got running into the kicker, which would move it up 5 yards but still be short, and also holding during the return, which would move the ball back 10 yards.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Running into the kicker, kicking team. During the kick, holding, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Nonetheless, the Eagles will get the ball back following the 2 penalties called.
Yeah, Coach Stevens, he elected just to back the Eagles up instead of trying to re-kick it or possibly going for it on 3rd down.
Immediate timeout on the field. Over 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Eagles lead 10-7 on ESPN+. 7, Georgia Southern. The Eagles will get the ball at the 24. J.C. French, 8 of 15 passing in the first half, and in fact, great protection by the O-line, Jason.
Yeah, Georgia Southern O-line is doing a very good job of handling the pressure and also running the football. Georgia Southern has a big O-line, definitely with a big weight advantage. Should be able to move these guys around. When you're able to run the ball, it just opens up the play action in the pass game that much more.
See Johnny Brown and Robert Wright, 2 tackles named the PFF Group of 6 Team of the Week. Coach Ellen had high praise for the O-line and how they've improved each game. First down, O.J. Arnold pushes his way for some extra yards. And with the O-line, Coach Ellen also said that big men were going to lead the way and win this game. That's the driving force last week against Jack State.
Yeah, when you got to run the ball for a first down and keep the chains moving, that's what you got to do. And when it's a close game, you have to be able to run the ball when you want to run the football.
Also means a lot when you have an O-lineman as a captain in Caleb Cook. Gain of 6 from Arnold. 2nd and 4. French across the middle, pass caught by Amon Green. He has space and gets inside the 40. Devin Vaught made the tackle, but Amon Green, the transfer from Georgia State, with his 4th reception on the season, it's a big one.
Yeah, like that. If you watch French eyes right here, he's still looking downfield. He knows he's coming here from the start, and he lays up there real nice. Nice and easy for the catch.
Gain of 28. And bursting up the middle, Arnold. He gets tackled by the 20. Inside the 20. Eagles in the red zone. Back-to-back big plays for the Eagles offense.
Yeah, I think the pace is catching up with Maine. And again, Arnold with the great vision, splitting the defense, getting up to the red zone.
Gain of 22 for number 22. From the 18. Arnold. Short gain. Flag on the play. Jason, we both kind of saw a face mask up front.
Yeah, it looked like it might have hurt his neck right there, but he has great patience again on the run, and he kind of hides behind his offensive lineman.
Face mask. Defense number 34 at the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Shane Keys Wilson, the freshman, called for the face mask.
As he gets here, watch Arnold getting low behind his lineman. As they pull around, he's patient, and he sees it, he hits it right there. I think if they don't grab his face mask, he might be off for a touchdown.
That was Chris Bacon. Who's called for the face mask. Move the Eagles up. Be 1st and goal from the 8.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Bacon. He's just trying to make a play after a good move he made.
Well, this is different. Arnold will get the football on the snap. And tackled inside the 5. We've seen Ryan Applin, offensive coordinator, have some trick plays in hand for this Eagles offense.
Yeah, he's definitely in his bag of tricks right now. Just kind of moves him over one spot, makes French the running back. It's the same read that JC gets. Now he's going to keep it with the quarterback, making Maine look at something new.
This drive had a mix of everything. Explosive plays, some trick plays. It'll be the 6th play of the drive. 2nd and goal. Arnold won't get anything. Nicholas Kalume, who had a big game last week. 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks.
Yeah, and the coaches knew he can make plays because he's so physically gifted. Right there, great play on the red zone, making the Eagles have another 3rd down. And I think if they hold him to a field goal, it'll be another win for Maine, the way this drive had started off.
Yeah, when you have a lengthy drive and holding the offense to a field goal, that's a win. You'll take that anytime you can.
For sure, especially like you said, with length in it and giving the offense a chance to rest and get back on the field. But Georgia Southern needs to punch it in right here.
Under center, jet sweep to Dalen Cobb, and he will score. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
I think this is the 3rd time that Georgia Southern went with the same type of action with Cobb in motion. So far, Maine has not adjusted. He's getting a running start. He's going to outrun everyone to the edge. And they got the reach block right there. Pretty easy touchdown for Cobb. If they don't adjust, they're going to keep doing it.
Dalen Cobb has bounced back since that first play of the offense where he had a deep ball that hit his hands. It would have been a surefire touchdown, but this time he gets his first rushing touchdown of the year. Caps off a 7-play, 76-yard drive. Trip Bryant nails the PAT. Eagles lead 17-7. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half.
The jet motion right here. Nice reach block right there. And he just kind of cruises into the end zone. But he's missing out on the first touchdown he could have had, but he's making up for it for sure with the way he's running the football.
Eagles, under 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. Georgia Southern, a 7-play, 76-yard drive with 3 minutes off the clock. Caps off with a jet sweep to Dalen Cobb, his first rushing touchdown on the year. Danny Wall, Jason Foster, and Sky Taylor on hand from Paulson Stadium. On the return for Maine, Ewing gets up to the 30. Now that Georgia Southern is starting to find the rhythm on offense, how does Maine respond here, Jason?
Yeah, I think for Maine right now, they got to have a good opening play. Can't get themselves in the second and long. Once they have an open play, they need to take a shot down the field. Right now, everything's been in front of Georgia Southern, and I think the Eagles can live with the ball being thrown in front of them. But right now, the Eagles are getting a little bit more and more aggressive. They need to take a shot and try to back them up here.
This drive, Carter Peavy back out at quarterback. We saw Caden Dresnick the last few possessions. Woods in motion. Quick throw, catch made by Declan McKevitt. Runs into his own man, but gets extra yards for a first down. McKevitt with his 4th reception on the season for the Black Bears.
Peavy got the ball out quick. Like I said, McKevitt, he's such a hard runner right there. I know the Eagles are making business decisions not to get in front of him. But just fake the quick zone, bring him across, just dump it off right, and he gets upfield, and he's looking for contact all the way.
Gain of 15 for the senior. First down from the 45. Rashawn Marshall gets his first touch. A short gain. Three-headed monster in terms of running backs for the Black Bears with Baines, Marshall, and also Nick Laughlin.
I think Maine has confidence in all of them. They both all do a great job of getting upfield and putting their foot in the ground, and they fight for those extra yards.
Offensive coordinator Raquel Waters said having that three-headed monster helps figure out the passing game. We haven't seen many passes from the Black Bears. Peavy just 5 of 7 for 45 yards. 2nd and 9, quick throw out to Marshall. He has space. He'll get the first down Tackled at the end by Fabo Chaney, true freshman.
Again, another nice read by Peavy right there. Eagles bring a blitz off the edge. He throws right where the blitz is going, and giving his playmakers a chance to make a play. If they could break a tackle in the secondary, I think they could be off to the races.
It's more so been quick throws to the playmakers rather than deep balls. The last time we really saw a deep throw was on that 4th down play where Peavy found Woods but was just out of the sideline, incomplete. Marshall. And about 3 yards. Sky Taylor has more on the Black Bears running backs.
Running back Sincere Baines has really become the heartbeat of the Maine's offense this season. He's not just running the ball anymore, he's a complete back capable of making defenders miss.
Second and 2. Laughlin on the carry. Technical difficulties out here in Paulson Stadium. Well, we all want to know what Sky had to say. Even the fans in Paulson. Not just the fans at home on ESPN+.
Correct. I think the Maine Black Bears have found something on the right side. All the zone carries are going to the right for right now. I wonder if the Eagles are going to sure it up, make them run up the middle.
3rd and 4.
It's the first time we've seen empty all game right here.
Yeah. 3 minutes to play in the half. Peavy scrambles. And will run out of bounds. Good chase by MJ Stroud on the outside. Brings up 4th.
I like it that Maine's tried something new. Had been in a one tight end set, 2 tight end set pretty much the whole game. Try to give Georgia Southern a different look, but they adjusted quickly and played it well. I think they're in a position where they were going to go for it anyway. So they just wanted to take a chance to see how the Eagles lined up to it. And that empty could be something we can see in the second half for Maine going forward.
Maine will stay out on the field for 4th and 5. Peavy ran out of bounds. Empty backfield again. Play clock winding down. And a timeout will be called.
Georgia Southern.
The Eagles used their first of the half.
30-second timeout.
I think it's a good timeout by Coach Helton right there. Scott Woods was uncovered. I think they were just going to shoot the ball out to him for a quick 5 yards.
It was a unique setup. Laughlin out on the far side as a wideout. We have an empty backfield. It changes things up for the Eagles. They do run a 4-2-5 base defense, so you have 5 defensive backs that can cover each of those men.
Correct, and that's where communication is the most important. Right there, like the Eagles kind of lacking a little bit in the communication area. Coach Helton wanted to make sure they had it correct before the 4th down call was made.
See if Maine runs that same front again. So you have Sincere Baines in at running back. Line up to the right of Peavy. We also have Laughlin as a slot receiver. Peavy going to take a deep shot. Incomplete. Another 4th down stop from the Eagles defense. Great coverage from Aiden Jackson and Justin Myers.
Yeah, Aiden Jackson, he's all over him right there. He did a good job last week in coverage. He's just getting better and better every week. But I do like that Maine took a shot down the field to try to back these guys up. The Eagles going to play press, coverage, or within 5 yards. We got to threaten them deep.
Jackson that had an interception last week against Jack State, keeping that same consistency here this week. And that's the unique thing about the secondary, where you have multiple players that can play different positions. Guys that can play cornerback, that can play safety, that can play the nickel. Doesn't matter where you put them at and line them up.
Yeah, the more versatile you can be, the more often you can get on the field. I think Georgia Southern has a lot of versatile players on defense.
First down from the 39. French on play action. Dumped it out to Sanders. Ooh. Taking a shot at the end by Jake Kussar. That'll take us to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute
17-7,
timeout.
Georgia Southern. The Eagles drive will continue after the break on ESPN Plus. Inside 2 minutes to go in the first half, 17-7 Eagles over the Black Bears. These Georgia Southern drives have been capped off and started with some deep plays and explosive plays.
Yeah, Georgia Southern doing a great job of lining up and creating explosive plays, especially while they're catching Maine in cover 2. And also the running backs are doing a good job of getting upfield and creating their own plays.
2nd and 8 and a flag on the
False
play.
start. Offense number 4, 5-yard penalty. Second
Camden
down.
Brown called for the false start.
Yeah, I think Camden must have had a play call for him. He's trying to get a little early start right there, trying to make a big play for the Eagles.
I mean, we've seen some explosive plays early in these drives. I think Camden Brown may have been looking, had his eyes wide for one. You see 6 big plays so far. French throws and has Sanders for another big play. Burst of speed, got tripped up at the end by Jamari Gibson, but make that number 7 in terms of explosive plays.
Very explosive play, but look at the throw right here. French hits his back foot. He steps up over one and drops right in the bucket right there.
32-yard pass from French that puts him now at 138 yards. He gets a gain of about 2 or 3 with his feet on first down.
Yeah, French is doing everything he needs to do to win right now, making great throws and protecting the football.
Only a gain of 1 from French. Badinga. Tackle made by Thomas.
Good. Eagles are doing a very good job of running up in between the tackles right now, getting 4 and 5 yards of chunk.
Timeout.
Right now you're in
Georgia
field goal
Southern.
range. You definitely won't do anything to jeopardize that.
30-second timeout.
Eagles called their second timeout. How about the timeout management from Georgia Southern this week compared to last week? And they used all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter against Jack State.
Yeah, last week was a little different. They called them for different reasons, but tonight they like a little bit more on track. Again, this is when you need to use your timeout to save it while you're in field goal range and also get the correct play drawn up to try to extend this lead.
6 when we come out. Minute 20 to go. Maine will get the ball to start the second half, so Georgia Southern would love to end this drive with another touchdown.
Yeah, I think the last 2 drives kind of been disappointing. They've ended with, well, they had the jet sweep, but they had a field goal early. I know they want to cap this off with a touchdown.
Eagles 5 of 8 on third down tonight. From the 27. Across the middle and intercepted. Oh, and Devin Vaught is going to take this one to the house for a pick 6. French racing behind but won't get to him. What a change for the Black Bears defense in Vaught.
That's what the defense needed right there. That's a shot of adrenaline for them. Unfortunate for Georgia Southern because I think French had the look he needed. Receiver just kind of should have idled down a little bit. Once the ball gets popped up in the air, it's live. And Maine did a great job of capitalizing on that, taking it all the way to the house and making this a game.
75 yards from Vaught. First pick of the year. And what a game changer for Maine. It seemed like Georgia Southern was finding their rhythm after a slow start in the first quarter, especially these last 2 drives, getting a touchdown and a field goal. But what a change of pace as the PAT is good and the Black Bears within a field goal.
You got to give Maine credit for keep fighting. Right here, French drops back. He brings his head around. I think he wants the receiver just to idle. And there's a great pick right there. Then he's off to the races. He's open right now. Just throttle down and sit. I think they had a little miscommunication. He ran as if it was man instead of throttling down. 1 second.
I mean, you also got to give credit to Kai Chisholm, who would have had the pick initially, but bounced off his body, and then Vaught running in, getting the pick, and taking it to the house. I mean, this has been quite the first half that we have seen tonight in Paulson.
He's running a little bit. Let me see it. Okay.
We're going to have another look at that pick 6 here in a matter of moments. Look at this as well from Maine. Neat kickoff formation. Joey Bryson has been on the kickoffs. Bounces in front of Samuel. And Samuel tackled at the 25. So, Jason, you were talking with our producer, Hunter Mosley. Let's see this pick here in slow motion.
I think Bradshaw right here, as he goes through, if he just kind of hooks up right here, I think he'll be wide open. As he comes, if he just throttles down, he's open right now, but he runs into coverage and crosses field. Then right there, that's kind of the unfortunate part about that pick. It looks like JC and Bradshaw are on different pages right there.
Player down for Maine, injury timeout. Jadarius Steele, sophomore, shaken up. What a look, what a unique angle there to break that play down, Jason.
Yeah, I think you see it from a quarterback eyes and receiver eyes. He may have saw it one way versus the quarterback, and that's something you're definitely going to have to go back into the locker room and talk about, because if I'm Maine, I think I bring the same blitz to see what can happen again. Thumbs
up from the Black Bears trainer. Steele jog off on his own power to the sideline. Got to credit our Gather Productions crew for being able to get that broken down to take a look at the interception from French. Devin Vaught makes it a 17-14 game. Eagles will start from the 25. 1:03 left to play in the half.
Timeout. Maine.
Maine will use their first timeout.
30-second timeout.
I mean, just Overall, Jason, when you see the mistakes that have been made by the Eagles with 2 turnovers, some drop passes to start the game, how do you assess things at halftime and come back out in the second half?
Well, for Georgia Southern, they're fortunate to have the lead right now. But at halftime, again, they got to clean up the mistakes, the mental mistakes, and also just catch the ball. I think JC's doing his job. He's reading the right direction. And Maine's giving you all the plays you need, but now you got to go out there and capitalize on the plays that they're giving up.
Out of the Black Bears timeout, 1st and 10 for the Eagles from the 25. French on the run. Get the first down and slides.
Great job of moving the chain, using his feet again, and his footwork in the pocket allows him to do that.
Hurry up offense. French thought about taking a deep shot. Instead, we'll check it. But Arnold gets another Eagles first down.
That's definitely what Maine does not want, that 2 first down, stopping the clock to move the chains. Right now, JC's in a rhythm.
Under 40 seconds. French going deep. Camden Brown incomplete. These throws that French is making are hitting the receiver. They just have to make the play.
Yeah, right now, he's throwing it in the bucket. Like a little handsy out there on Camden Brown. Could have been a PI. But again, a great throw by French as he gets on his back foot. He lets the ball go. Perfect arc. This ball's hitting the receivers in the hands every time. Let it out there. Yeah.
Covered by Gibson. There on Brown. 31 seconds, 2nd and 10. French sidearm pass caught by Bradshaw, takes a hit. Braden Isaiah with the tackle.
Yeah, very nice tackle right there. And also he kept him in bounds before Georgia Southern used their last timeout.
Third and final timeout.
High IQ play made by Isaiah. And now Georgia Southern, you got to make some unique decisions here. It'll be 3rd and 6 coming out of the timeout.
French, watch his sidearm throw. He's throwing very accurately today, but again, good job by keeping him in bounds, not allowing him to save that timeout.
Textbook play made by the Black Bears cornerback. I mean, that's the unique thing that the defensive coordinator Humberto De Mayo talked about. There are a lot of players on the starting defense that didn't start any games prior to this year. So you have young players that are getting experience, but also learning and starting to pick things up. That's what you want to see as the season progresses.
Correct. They're getting better and better every game. And like I said, it's showing throughout the game the way they tackle the football, getting to the ground is the most important factor about playing football, and they do a good job at that.
3rd down, 6 yards to go from the Eagles at the 28-yard line.
3rd and 6 from the 48. Eagles out of timeouts. Screen throw to Badinga. Badinga stays on his feet, couldn't reach the sideline. Gets the Eagles first down, but Georgia Southern has to hurry.
Yeah, a nice safe throw right there. Got the first down, got the chain moves, give him 4 more downs.
French will spike it with 16 seconds to play.
I still think Georgia Southern's able to throw it to the middle of the field, get themselves in the field goal range, and spike the ball right here. And if you're Maine, you don't want to get beat over the top, so you may give up this throw.
Right now, you'd be looking at a 56-yard field goal attempt. That will be the longest for Bryant, the true freshman. Now Maine lose a timeout. Their second.
30-second timeout.
I mean, when you see how the Black Bears defense getting that turnover in the pick 6, how much confidence does that give you, especially when you get the football to start in the second half?
Right, it gives them all the confidence in the world. They got a pick 6. They had a hope. They held Georgia Southern in the red zone to a couple field goals. So I think they're feeling good going into the half if they can get a stop right here. And again, for Georgia Southern, you're feeling the opposite. You thought you had the game in the bag, was going to go up possibly 14, 17 points. And now you're looking at you got yourself into a dogfight. So I think Georgia Southern needs to end this drive with some kind of points.
You take a field goal if possible, but you want a touchdown. And that just goes back to how much that pick 6 hurt the Eagles overall.
Correct, it definitely hurt, but right here I'm looking for Camden Brown. I think I'll take another shot over top, see if he can make a catch on this one.
French on second down. Good protection. He's going to scramble. He'll try to get to the sideline. He won't. Gets inside the 30. He does get the Eagles a first down. They're trying to spike this one quick. 9 seconds to go in the half. And they will spike with 6 seconds on the clock. It does put Trip Bryant in better field position. Looking like a 45-yard field goal attempt.
Again, another very smart play by French, using his feet. Again, knowing where the chains are at to stop the clock. If he goes down short of the first down, the clock does not stop, and they're not able to spike this ball. I think he's playing some of his best ball of the year right now.
So this will be a new career-high attempt for Bryant. He nailed one earlier in this game, 21. And Maine will use their final timeout of the half.
Their third and final timeout of the half.
Yeah, I want him to think about it a little bit, try to get in his head.
We've seen some kickers this year overall in college football that have been poised, been able to knock down field goals. I think of the game winner that Georgia Tech had last week against Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great job by Georgia Tech. They ran a team on and ran a team off in 15 seconds. Got the ball snapped, and the kick was just as poised as ever. Nailed it right down the uprights for the game winner.
Bryant has been poised. Head coach Clay Helton can look into the eyes of Bryant and sees no fear, drilling it. Field goals last week with authority. See how he does his second time out. Alex Smith, the holder. 45-yard attempt from the right hash. No good.
It had the accuracy, just didn't get the leg on it that he wanted. I'm sure it's something he can go back, he can make again. This is going to eat at him a little bit, but nice effort.
First miss of the season, and Maine goes to the locker room with confidence.
Yeah, if I'm Maine, I'm beaming with confidence. Again, held them to a couple field goals, also a missed field goal and a pick six. Their defense is keeping them in this game, trying to give them a chance to win.
That was one of the big keys by defensive coordinator Umberto DeMeo. And head coach Jordan Stevens wanted to see his team put together drives and be able to finish. But the defense has kept them in this game with 2 turnovers, a pick six, and now special teams getting it done with a missed field goal from Trip Bryant. Our own Sky Taylor is standing by with Eagles head coach Clay Helton.
Coach, 17-14, what are your overall takeaways from the first half?
Well, really some self-enforced errors, 2 turnovers that led to points, especially the pick six. It could have created separation in that second quarter. We didn't. They get the ball right back. Defense has got to come out and get us top and get our offense in more rhythm and more flow.
Defensively, what's the message to your team going into the locker room?
Well, they held them to 7 points in the first half. They've got to continue. I thought once they got past that first drive, they really settled in and got some drive stops. Love to see a turnover and get one of those backs, but I think they're playing good ball right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Helton nailed it on the head. Self-inflicted errors made by the Eagles in this game that kept Maine close. That takes us to halftime. The Eagles lead 17-14, but Maine gets the ball back to start the second. We'll talk first half stats and more after the break on ESPN+. halftime from Paulson Stadium. Georgia Southern a 17-14 lead over Maine in the final non-conference game of the year. Next week, the Eagles will kick off Sun Belt play on the road at JMU. But if you look at the preseason polls, JMU was picked first in the East, Georgia Southern second. So this matchup next Saturday, Jason, could determine early look at who wins the East Division.
Right, it definitely can determine who can win the division, and both teams want to come in playing their best ball, so that's why tonight's game is important as you get into conference play.
Look at Maine. They've already had a game in CAA play. It was a heartbreaking loss, 28-27 at William & Mary. Picked to finish 9th in the preseason poll, but one thing we haven't talked about with Maine, Jason, is that when they get to the fourth quarter, in all three of their games this season, it's been a one-possession game. They have played well here in the first half, capitalizing off of Georgia Southern mistakes.
Yeah, Maine's doing a great job of staying in the game, but they also need to learn how to finish, and I think tonight they're going to have that chance to finish strong.
We'll talk first half stats and more after the break on ESPN+. Up 17-14 at halftime. It's not just a busy day for Georgia Southern football. It's been a busy weekend for Georgia Southern athletics. Scott Taylor has more.
Georgia Southern Athletics has been in full swing this weekend with action across multiple sports. The excitement kicked off last night as men's soccer defeated Old Dominion 2-1. The Eagles are now ranked 25th in the nation for the first time since 1997. They still remain unbeaten on the season. Meanwhile, women's rifle opened up its season in Columbus, Ohio this morning with a strong showing. Ranked number 5 nationally, the team earned 2 victories, topping number 12 Ohio State and Mount Allicious. And back home, women's volleyball took on Florida State today at Hanner Fieldhouse. Despite falling in 3 sets, the Eagles battled in front of a packed crowd. Fans were treated to a raffle for free sideline passes to tonight's football game against Maine, keeping the energy high as many headed from Hanner over here to Paulson Stadium to continue the weekend of Eagle sports.
Even had a shuttle that brought fans from Hanner to Paulson for that, even though volleyball lost in 3 sets. 9-2 as they get ready for Sunbelt play next week at Old Dominion. We'll talk first half stats and more from Paulson after the break. Eagles up by 3. One half of football down from the prettiest little stadium in America. Georgia Southern a 17-14 lead over the Maine Black Bears. Danny Wall, Jason Foster, Sky Taylor on sideline. it just seems like a lot of self-inflicted errors made by the Eagles that have kept Maine in this game. I mean, if you're the Eagles, Jason, how do you clean things up in the second half?
Right, I think it starts with a level of focus, right? You had a fumble, you had a pick six, you also had a missed field goal. I think they just got to get back to basics, playing fundamental football. They can correct that. I think they can steal a win tonight.
It really started from the opening drive when you had 2 incompletions. That the first one to Dalen Cobb would have been a sure touchdown. I mean, look at the first half stats. The Eagles have more yards overall, 319, and 6 of 10 on third downs. But when you add the fumble in that opening drive, or the second drive, excuse me, and then you add the pick six by Devin Vaught, and then you add the missed field goal at the end from Trip Bryant, first missed field goal of the year, that's how Maine has stayed in this game.
Yeah, Maine's doing a great job of capitalizing on the turnovers the Eagles have given them. Also, Maine has been playing great red zone defense, holding the Eagles to field goals.
You also see Carter Peavy, who with a shot, untouched, 27 yards to get Maine on the board first, and then you add the fumble, the turnover after. It seemed like Georgia Southern just had some troubles overall.
Yeah, I think they had troubles overall, but I think J.C. French is playing a very good game today. I think he's dropped back 23 times, no sacks, so the O-line is doing a great job. But the Eagles have to find a way to put the ball in the end zone and get to the red zone to open up this margin.
O.J. Arnold's been a bright spot, 11 carries, 74 yards. You had the jet sweep to Dalen Cobb, and even some explosive plays made by the Eagles offense, just unable to finish in the red zone. And here you see the deflection by Takai Chisholm, and then the interception from Devin Vaught, who took this to the house. Credit J.C. French trying to track him down at the end. But overall, that's how Maine has stayed in this game, 17-14. The Black Bears will get the ball to start the second half when we come back on ESPN+. Second half, moments away on ESPN Plus. Maine will get the ball to start the second half, but one thing that we briefly touched on throughout the first half, the Eagles were about one of their linebackers in Brandon Tyson. Tyson would miss the first half of the game due to a targeting call in the second half against Jack State. He'll be back in. And as the Eagles defense make their way on the field, how can they make some adjustments in this second half, Jason?
Right, I think they have to attack the run better right now. I think Maine's picking up 6-7 yards a carry. I think Georgia Southern has to play a little bit more downhill, get more hats to the football.
Well, we'll see how Tyson will make a difference along with Brendan Harrington.
I think we're going to see an immediate impact by Tyson. He's such a playmaker on defense. He really pursues the football well.
Black Bears will start from the 25. Sarah Baines at running back. Carter Peavy will keep, fakes the throw. You got to credit Carter Peavy for using his feet. Our own Sky Taylor caught up with Black Bears head coach Jordan Stevens.
When I asked Coach Stevens his thoughts on the first half, he said, overall good. We just need to keep competing. They get the ball starting the third quarter, so that was a plus for him. And he also noted needing to tackle better. As far as the quarterback situation, Carter Peavy is fine, guys, and trying out some different things.
Thanks, Sky. This is a non-conference game for the Black Bears, so using an opportunity to get some other looks with Caden Drezick. 2nd and 3. Peavy with time, throws deep, incomplete. Sky Woods was the intended receiver. Flag on the play.
Holding, that was a receiver, defense number 5, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Hayden Jackson called for the penalty for Georgia Southern. That's going to give Maine a first down.
Big.
You see how the drives have started in the first half overall for Maine. They've been short drives, but aside from that opening drive, 5 plays for a touchdown. The rest have been either a turnover on downs or punts.
Yeah, they got to find a way to get back in the rhythm right now. And I think that just taking a deep shot right there is going to help them out, kind of back this defense up.
From the 42, Baines makes a man miss.
Baines is hard to tackle. He's making that first guy miss every time. These are critical runs. Instead of being 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, he's making the 2 and 3 yards, putting him into a manageable second down situation.
Haven't seen much of Baines throughout this game. That was just his 6th carry, 41 yards. The Black Bears have gone between Baines. We've also seen Nick Laughlin, who's back healthy, along with Rashawn Marshall. Or that 3-headed monster in the run game as Maine trying to figure out the passing game. 2nd and 6. Dump out the Baines. Tackled by Dorian Smith.
That's a very nice tackle right there in open field. Baines has been making people miss all day. Good job of getting his outside leg and getting him to the ground. I think if he misses that tackle, I think Maine has another first down. Giving credit to Georgia Southern defense again, has Maine at 3rd and long. This is the situation they want to be in, be able to pin their ears back and try to go attack the quarterback.
3rd and 10. Play clock winding down. Peavy with time, throws. Incomplete. And right there you see how Brandon Tyson makes a difference for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's come in, he's locked in. He made a tackle on his first play. Now he plays great coverage right here, forcing Maine to go back and punt the football. That's very tight coverage right there. He knows his assignments. This is why he's a leader on their defense.
Tyson was crucial. He had 11 tackles against Jack State. He'll continue to make a difference throughout this half for the Eagles. Pecorella sends this deep to Peyton Plott. Retreat at the 20. Plot. Tackled near the 40. See how the Eagles fare in their first offensive drive of the half when we come back on ESPN+. We'll see how Georgia Southern makes adjustments offensively in the second half. Turnovers were a big factor in the first. And it's been one thing that the Eagles have tried to limit year by year under Clay Helton. One thing I cleaned up here in the second half, Jason.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job so far this year, but unfortunately tonight they put the ball on the ground once and also had an interception. But to win big games, you got to hold on to the football, and I know they're looking to clean it up in the second half.
First 4 games, second most since Helton's first year. Rather, second most since last year. Quick dump out on first down. Dalen Cobb gets across the 45, close to midfield.
Another good drive starter for them. You can see they're focused on getting Cobb the ball because he's such a dynamic playmaker, and they're playing with speed right now.
Gain of 8. Hurry up offense. French fakes, dumps it out near side. Amon Green will get the first down. Tackled out of bounds at the 45.
That play doesn't look like a big pickup. If you watch Green right here, he had a chip block, then he worked his way out. JC went through all his reads, checked it down, and got a nice 10-yard gain out of that. Very good quarterback play.
Green's been a big piece of the offense. His second reception. The first one was a catch for 29 yards. One of the explosive plays for the Eagles. Cobb, he's going to throw deep downfield. He has Camden Brown. Brown will score. No, they're going to say he is short. But still another big play as Brown went down at the 1.
Coach Adams definitely his bag of tricks, showing off Cobb's talent. He's able to run the ball, he's able to throw the ball, and he's able to catch it. Thought he had him a touchdown pass right there, so maybe they'll get him one later.
Man, Dalen Cobb can do a little bit of everything for this Eagles offense.
That's a nice throw right there off those step. Cutback, great play call.
There was no score on the play.
Officials saying there's no score on the play. You see here again, Brown was just short. The first and goal from the 1. Weston Bryan will walk in. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. First rushing touchdown on the year for the true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, this is such a great play for the Eagles. Whenever he gets in, you know he's going to pick up that 1 or 2 yards that he needs. This was probably going to be the easiest one he gets all year, basically a walk-in. Great job by the offensive line of sealing everyone off.
This is the 4th game for the true freshman Weston Bryant, who's been big coming in for some packages. 6'3", 250, true freshman for Georgia Southern. Head coach Clay Helton said that Bryant has been so crucial in these first couple of games. As Trent Bryant nails the PAT, it is 24-14 Eagles. Sky Taylor has more on the true freshman quarterback in Weston Bryant.
A look at true freshman Weston Bryant coming into the game for Georgia Southern. Coach Helton says that he is a force to be reckoned with, and it is so easy to see why. Bryant's already been trusted in key moments, third downs, wildcat packages, and he's delivered every single time. He's converted crucial first downs, moved the offense deep into the red zone, even scored like we just saw, and shown complete confidence and poise in late game situations. Even with limited action, he's been making plays with both his arms and his legs, including a 32-yard touchdown pass against USC. Helton also added that he's just got such a confidence. He tells me what play he wants to run, and he's got an offense spark, and there's no fear at all.
Thanks, Sky. The biggest thing as well, as a freshman, you have 4 games you can play before you determine if you want a red shirt or not. And Coach Helton said that Bryant told him that he wants to play the whole year and help his team win a championship. So we'll see how that plays out following this game, and if Weston Bryant wants to continue to play the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, of course, anybody wants to play the whole year, but I think Coach Helton's going to have some hard decisions to make because he's such a dynamic player. He's also like a spark plug for the offense, but you also want to have him for the future because, he's so dynamic.
It's been the explosive plays that have put Georgia Southern in great field position, especially when you saw Dalen Cobb make that deep throw 44 yards to Camden Brown, was just shy of the goal line. But Weston Bryant, even if he was untouched or if anybody got to him, he's 6'3", 250. You can't stop him.
Yeah, you definitely want to get in front of that freight train when he's running full speed.
Black Bears on offense from the 25. Hand off to Nick Laughlin. Bouncing outside, gets out of the tackle from Brandon Tyson, fighting for extra yards.
Nick Laughlin, he's having a good game so far tonight. He's getting 6 and 7 yards per carry. Again, every time he gets the ball on first down, something positive happens.
Laughlin has a major impact in different scenarios for Maine's offense. And a gain of 8 on his 4th carry. 2nd and 2. Laughlin will get the first down and tackled by Devin Lowe at the end.
Good job right there by Maine offensive line, creating a hole for Laughlin to stick it up in. And I think this is the pace that Maine wants to play at, getting 6 and 7 yards a carry, keeping their defense on the sideline, keeping Georgia Southern offense on the sideline, and trying to grind this game out and get back into it.
Yeah, offensive coordinator Mikael Waters talked about some of the leaders on the O-line. Nick Krugy, the center, along with Anthony Iliano and Andrew Koken. First down from the 40. Play action. Peavy throws incomplete. Looking for Tye Stevens.
Right. Anytime you have a good rushing attack, your center's probably a pretty good player. And I think that's what allows Maine to run the ball so well, is their center can do so many different things.
Peavy now 7 of 12, just 53 yards. Passing game hasn't been there, not just tonight, but not really all season, especially last week against Stonehill, who went 15 of 26 with just 95 yards. On the carry, Marshall tackled at the 49.
Right, going back to the pass game, Peavy just doesn't seem comfortable with the plays right now. He's kind of throwing off his back foot. But anytime he gets to throw off the action, the run fake, I think he's way more accurate with the football.
Short of a first down, bring up 3rd and 1. Maine has not converted on 3rd down or on 4th down tonight. Play clock at 5. Laughlin gets stuffed. How about Jacob Ferguson, first man there? And he also have the other defensive lineman firing up the Eagles.
Yeah, Ferguson gets off the ball so quick right there. He's in the backfield as this handoff is happening, disrupting the play.
You got that fan excited. It'll be 4th and 3. Black Bears going to stay on the field.
If you're Georgia Southern D-line, you got to have earmuffs on right here. Definitely can't jump off sides. You got to make Maine earn their first down.
Play clock winding down.
This is a play action right here.
It is a play action. Peavy throws, pass caught. First down. A first 4th down completion, but a flag is on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Not only do the Black Bears get a first down, but also get 15 yards due to the face mask. And great awareness there. The play clock winding down. Jason, you saw it was going to be a play action pass.
Yeah, they hadn't been in that set all game. They rushed to the line of scrimmage. They couldn't run the ball the first 3 downs, so you got to figure it's going to be a quick pass right here as they get in a tight split by the receiver. Running backs out to the flat. He trips up a little bit, which actually kind of helps him out to get him a more open target.
Ja'Cory Brown called for the face mask. That puts the Black Bears at the 32. Quick throw, pass caught by Stevens. And now you're seeing the passing game start to open up after numerous runs here in this drive.
Yeah, Peavy looks way more comfortable when he has the run fake in, bringing the linebackers down and then throwing over the top of them, as opposed to a straight drop back. If I'm Maine, I keep with the run fakes, throwing the ball out on the perimeter, while Georgia Southern's giving such depth to the playing so far off the receivers. So anything in breaking should be working right now.
5 penalties for Georgia Southern. They played clean for the first 3 games of the year. This is a bit different. There's 7 minutes to play in the quarter. Black Bears in the red zone from the 20. Marshall absorbs the hit. A short gain.
Tough run. He's sticking up in there again, getting 3 and 4 yards on first down. It's going to allow them to do more play action here on second down. Again, if I'm Maine, I think I take a shot right here off of play action. Try to steal a first down or even possibly a touchdown.
Gain of 4 for Marshall. That's his 4th carry of the night. Laughlin in at running back. Peavy back to pass, going for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Mo Irrifin. Dorian Smith on the coverage.
Yeah, Peavy missed the touchdown throw right there. If he had the deep crosser route running from left to right, which should have been a touchdown. I think he has his eyes in the wrong spot. Underside.
And you see the post route also.
Yes, he clears over. He throws the ball out to the right pylon. That's a touchdown.
3rd and 6. Peavy. Pass. Incomplete. Tracy Hill there to stop it.
And that's very sticky coverage right there. Again, they try to break something in, break in the front of his face. This time he did a good job of driving on the football, getting his arm in and breaking that pass up. Peavy does a good job with his eyes, comes all the way back across field. Almost a diving catch. Good job on the defensive back getting his arm in.
Black Bears will bring out the field goal unit. First time we'll see Samuel Tremblay, the sophomore. He's 3 of 3 on the year. This is his longest field goal this season from 33. Kick is good. Maine within a field goal, 24-17. 6 minutes to play in the 3rd. Field goal caps off a 9-play, 59-yard drive for Maine. More to come after the break on ESPN+.
coming up right here, I think Peavy had a touchdown pass in his pocket. I know Coach Waters wants this play again, but if you run the tape right here, as he gets to the top of his route, if he throws the ball to the air, to the open space right here with a little air up on it, he's going to run up there for an easy touchdown against.
Would have had Scott Woods on that drag across. But nonetheless, the Black Bears do get points within a touchdown, and that's been the biggest thing that head coach Jordan Stevens had talked about with us. I mean, they've been within a possession in the start in the fourth quarter the last 3 weeks, but he wants to make sure they can end the game and finish. Want to put their foot on the gas when needed. See how that plays out as the second half continues. Jamarian Samuel on the kick return. You see how Georgia Southern does back out on offense.
Yeah, Coach Stevens, he's definitely right. They've been in every game. Again, they have a chance to do that tonight. It's going to come up. If they can get a 3-and-out right here and get their offense the ball back, I think they're going to be able to drive right back down the field and switch the pressure and put it back to Georgia Southern.
The toughest thing is just being able to stop the explosive plays made by the Eagles offense. Now, defense makes the turnovers. You have the fumble recovery and the pick six. French start from the 26-yard line. Dinga on the carry. Oh, spins out of traffic. He will be short of the first down, the second and short.
Yeah, the vision of all the Georgia Southern backs is something we got to definitely keep talking about. That spin move right there, looks like he's about to get hit from the side and kind of has eyes in the back of his head, just spins out of it, avoids the big hit and gives it a couple more yards.
Dinga will stay in at running back on 2nd and 1. Dinga following the block by Amon Green, but met by a wall. Tackle made by Malcolm Folk, and Trell Couchman was there too.
Good tackle by Couchman right there, not allowing him to go stretch for that first down, making a 3rd down situation and possibly being able to get themselves off the field. But if I'm Georgia Southern here, I think I stick with the run game again. It's 3rd and 1. They've been running the ball very well. I think you give O.J. Arnold or Bedinga another shot at this one.
Rather, Weston Bryan in at quarterback.
That works.
He does have Jamarian Samuel as the running back. Bryan will keep. He'll get the first. Stays on his feet. I mean, when you have a guy 6'3", 250 to run Wildcat packages, why not? Just keep feeding it to the big man.
Yeah, it makes your game plan simple anytime you get to that 3rd and short situation. And he has good vision kind of going in and out. You think it's going to be straight up the middle, but that one he takes off as a straight sweep, cuts it upfield, and again, they know where the sticks are at.
He also scored his first rushing touchdown of the year to put the Eagles up. The time 24-14. French back in. Will throw deep far side. Oh, what a catch from Camden Brown!
Brown is such a playmaker right there. He had the press coverage. Maine finally starting to walk up. And I saw JC motion to him trying to get this ball up there and just giving him a chance to make a play. Nice release. Gets his head back. Again, big physical receiver. Pulls it in for a great catch.
Another explosive play puts the Eagles in Maine territory. Quick dump out to Dalen Cobb. Cobb will score. Touchdown Eagles. Back-to-back big plays. A quick drive for Georgia Southern. 5 plays, 74 yards, just 2:26 off the clock.
Yeah, very quick drive right there. Again, textbook how they move down the field with a zone read on that one, shooting it out to Cobb again. Getting him in open space, as dynamic as he is, he's going to put 6 on the board every time.
Dalen Cobb, he can run, he can throw, he can make catches. A rushing touchdown, now a receiving touchdown, his 2nd on the year, 2nd touchdown tonight. Trent Bryant's PAT makes it 31-17. What can Dalen Cobb not do? He is doing it all for the Eagles on offense.
Yeah, He's also a kick returner as well. Kyle's such a talented player. Anytime you get him the ball in space, he's going to make the first guy miss, and then even with a lead blocker, he's taking it to the end zone.
Reminds me of a young Jason Foster. Senior wide receiver Dalen Cobb has taken his game to another level. Last week was named Sun Belt Special Teams Player of the Week for a 95-yard kick return. As Maine returns this one out of the end zone. Tackled at the end there. What a play from Ethan Johnson. But Cobb, so far tonight, receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown. He keeps things going. Now for Maine, they've had some struggles here late in games. I mean, how do they turn things around here in this next drive?
Right, they definitely had some struggle late in the game. They got a chance to change the narrative right here. But to turn it around right now, I think they keep doing what they've been doing, getting Baines involved early, trying to work the play action off him, and keep running in-breaking routes.
Start this drive from the 15, down 31-17, 3:23 to go in the third. Beebe will pitch it out. And that play blown up, trying to get Woods going, but the Eagles defense was all on it.
Looks like they tried a new wrinkle with an option play to it. Something we have not seen tonight, but the Eagles were definitely ready for it and played downhill. Went from the quarterback straight to the running back to make the tackle for the loss.
Yeah, a difference from when we saw the option run from Peavy that scored the first touchdown of the game back in the first. Loss of 2. Peavy flips it to Baines. Baines has blockers, stays on his feet. Bring up 3rd and short.
A nice play call right there, try to get a slip screen in behind it. I think if he keeps his footing right there, I think he gets the first down. Right now it's going to be 3rd and short again with a chance for the Eagles to get themselves off the field.
0-7 on 3rd down conversions. But it's been rare to see a 3rd and short from Maine's offense.
Definitely. They got two back look this time, something different they're trying out here.
Baines and Laughlin. It'll be a throw to Laughlin. He will be short of a first down.
I think Maine has to go for it right here. I think they're in that danger zone of getting down by 3 scores, which I'm not sure they can come back from in the quarter.
Rather go for it. They're going to send out the punt unit.
If I'm Georgia Southern, I'm lining up and punt safe and making sure we're watching the football.
Peyton Plott deep to return for the Eagles. We'll see Anthony Pecorella again. Fair catch made at the 37, but it's just great to see Anthony Pecorella out on the field throughout all of the adversity he's been through. Sky Taylor has more.
Yeah, Anthony Pecorella has faced more challenges off the field than most players will see in a lifetime. He's a graduate student and punter for Maine, and he was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma in 2023. What started as a routine physical revealed an enlarged tonsil that led to a biopsy and an intensive chemotherapy regimen. Through it all, Pecorella never lost focus or determination, showing the same toughness on the field as he did in treatment. His first punt at Liberty was his first in over 1,000 days, a remarkable return to the field after everything that he's endured. But it wasn't just his own battle that shaped him. On the hospital floor, a young patient named Ellie, just 4 years old, taught him what courage really looks like. She faced chemotherapy with bravery and joy, and her resilience left a lasting impression on Pecorella, inspiring him to push forward and stay positive. Pecorella says regardless of where his journey takes him, he wants to be a light, not only in the lives of these incredibly courageous children, but also in the lives of others on this field.
Thanks, Guy. What a story on the Black Bears punter. It's Georgia Southern on 2nd and short. Arnold got an 8-yard carry on first down, gets the ball again. That time he gets the first. I mean, some things, Jason's just bigger than football.
Yeah, that's an amazing story right there. Again, it kind of puts everything in perspective, what's worth fighting for. Pecorella did a great job, telling us his story. And it's very touching for everyone.
First down for Georgia Southern at the 49. Third quarter comes to a close. The Eagles turning things around with 2 scores, one from Weston Bryan, the other from Dalen Cobb. A 31-17 lead through 3 in Paulson Stadium. Fourth quarter coming up after the break on ESPN+. Paulson Stadium lit up true blue. As we're moments away from starting the fourth quarter, Eagles lead 31-17 in the Eagles' final non-conference game of the year before starting out Sun Belt play next week at James Madison. Another successful rushing game for the Eagles, 84 yards on the ground, led by O.J. Arnold, 13 carries, 85 yards and a touchdown. 3 rushing touchdowns on the night, and Clay Helton has a lot of success when the Eagles win the run game.
Yeah, I think Coach Helton kind of figured out his formula. They're 11-2 when they win the rushing battle. So I think he's trying to keep that streak alive right there, and just going to find a way to grind out this to a victory.
Nicholas Kalume blowing up the play to start the fourth quarter. A nice look from a fan's perspective here in the lower level with Paulson. Loss of 5 on the rush from Dalen Cobb.
Yeah, Maine's defense still playing tough, still trying to make plays and keep themselves in this game.
44 on 2nd and 15. Pass incomplete. In and out of the hands of Marcus Sanders.
Shane Keys Wilson did a great job expanding out there. There was nothing to hold him, so he got up under that curl route and almost got an interception. Maybe even got a finger on that ball.
This is where head coach Jordan Stevens wants to see his team improve on in the fourth, being able to go out there and finish, even though they're down by 2 scores.
Yeah, a stop right here would be a step in the right direction. They got him at 3rd and 14, probably trying to expect some kind of screen. Just want to make sure you tackle these guys short of the sticks.
The longest 3rd down play for the Eagles tonight. French scrambles, gets it out, almost intercepted.
Very dangerous right there for J.C. French. One of the few bad decisions he's made all night. I think he had okay pass pro. It's not there. He's trying to get rid of it, but you got to make sure that ball gets out of bounds or over the heads of the defenders.
Kai Chisholm chasing and taking French down, almost picked off by Sam Oppenheimer, the sophomore. See the punt unit back out on the field. A good stop by Maine's defense. Deed kick from Alex Smith. Return from Scott Woods. And the Eagles get the ball. Jackson Wheeler going all the way down and getting it back for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, this is one of those special team plays Coach Helton talked about, possibly getting a non-offensive touchdown. I know this won't count as a non-offensive touchdown, but if they can punch this into the end zone, you can lead this directly to special teams. He's kind of lost in his light right there. The ball kind of got up on him a little bit, hit off the shoulder pad.
See Scott Woods, went off the shoulder pad. Wheeler said, "Give me that." Wheeler, the 6th year from Bainbridge, Georgia. And that's what head coach Clay Helton wanted to see from special teams. One of the keys was to stay consistent. He's seen these special teams get to an elite standard and wants them to stay there.
Yeah, and a great job by Wheeler right there, hustling down. A lot of times when you punt, you know it's going to be a fair catch inside of 10. You kind of slack off, but he did a great job hustling down. It's like getting a loose ball in basketball.
A little gritty action at the end there, too, on the sideline. So the Eagles in the red zone from a 12 on 1st down. Arnold throws, Brown catches, touchdown!
So there was a method to the madness with Coach Applin earlier in the game when they ran the same type of action going the other way with the quarterback moving over one slot and let OJ be the read key. This time they pull out a corner route off of that. It's a very good play, really hard to defend, especially if you haven't seen it on film yet.
Camden Brown, his 5th reception, 102 yards. He gets his 5th receiving touchdown on the year. He is well on his way to potentially breaking the single-season receptions record here at Georgia Southern. PAT good by Bryant, 38-17 Eagles as special teams sets it up. Arnold with the touchdown pass to Camden Brown.
Zone read by the running back. He sells the fake just so slightly. Camden Brown's wide open. That's a tough play to guard right there with the run action coming right at you.
28-17, Georgia Southern over Maine. There are so many weapons on this Eagles offense that can do a multitude of things. Camden Brown, the receiving touchdown, but the pass was thrown from O.J. Arnold. Arnold's completed a pass for a touchdown. Dalen Cobb had Brown deep for 44 yards. And how about Brown enjoying some skittles at the sideline?
Camden Brown, he's having a game today. Again, like we talked about earlier, he has a chance to break all the Georgia Southern receiving records, especially when he's getting touchdown passes from running backs and not the quarterback.
Dalen Cobb, receiving touchdown and the rushing touchdown. Arnold, a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Weston Bryan running one from the goal line. I mean, this is what you want to see from the Eagles as you get ready for Sun Belt play next week.
For sure, you're putting a lot on tape for James Madison to have to review. And again, it shows you how versatile the players Georgia Southern has on offense. You never know who's going to throw the ball, who's going to catch the ball. They're all capable of doing it.
Clay Helton talked about these two games at home, Jack State and Maine, like a mini season. Knew the California trip to start the year at Fresno State and USC would be its own entity, but looked at these two games at home as the last dress rehearsal before conference. Maine will start from the 35. Ewing in motion, play action from Peavy. All day to throw. He's going to take a shot. Too far, intended for Irrefin.
Nice call right there. They had the shot drawn up perfectly. Just got to get a little bit more air on that throw right there so Irrefin can run up on that. And that should have been another six points for Maine. Get nice run action. Got the dig on the front side. He's coming over. He has the whole field to throw this ball. Just gets a little bit more air on it, let him allow him to run up under. Again, I think Maine can generate another big play if they run that again.
And Irrefin just couldn't get under, as you mentioned. Quick dump out. Sincere Baines. They have gotten a yard. Correction, that was Trevin Ewing on the catch.
Nice hustle right there by Caleb Moore right there. Get out from the D-tackle position to make a tackle on the screen. It shows you the effort that Georgia Southern defense is playing with right now.
11 completions for Carter Peavy, and he's thrown to numerous receivers. I mean, there have been 9 different receivers that's made a catch in this game. We'll talk about Irrefin. He only has 1 reception tonight. 3rd and 9. Flag on the play. Peavy scrambles. Catch made by Rashawn Marshall. He won't get the first, but we'll see who the flag is on. It was thrown out pretty early. A.J. Brown making the tackle.
I think they're going to call the false start on the left tackle here. Got out of the stance a little bit early, especially with the way Georgia Southern did line to get off the ball.
Offense. Number 67 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now there's legal formation on the Black Bears.
Defense has elected to decline the penalty.
He was set pretty deep trying to get back because he knew there was a pass coming. But Georgia Southern elected to go to 4th down right here. It's going to be a big call. And again, basically critical for Maine to pick this first down up.
4th and 3. Black Bears 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Peavy scrambles, has time, throws deep, incomplete. Another turnover on downs for the Eagles defense.
Good job by the Eagles defense of holding, getting Peavy off his spot, getting Peavy trying to make a play, scrambles, try to get the ball up there to make a play here for their offense. And it almost should have been picked off by a bit of Gladney right there, but I'm sure the Eagles would rather have the incompletion and get the ball up above midfield.
A new target that Peavy was going to, looking for Aaron Arteaga. Secondary has been on point for Georgia Southern tonight.
I think this is the second week they played well in a row.
The Eagles will have it at the 42. Weston Bryan, quarterback keep. A short game to see. I mean, it takes one of the big defensive linemen for Maine to try to stop him.
Yeah, he's such a load to bring down. And again, this game is the game where zone. They're leaning on Maine, using their size, just running straight at him right now, trying to keep this clock moving and holding on to the football.
And not even 6'4", 300 pound for Raj Tektapina. Couldn't stop Brian. He'll stay in at quarterback. 12 minutes to go in the fourth. Brian, a deep shot, has Dalen Cobb. No. And there have been a couple of drop passes, and Cobb is hurt.
I think the cramp's getting the best of him right now. If you look at that right calf, it looks like it's pretty tight.
Officials timeout.
Great job of standing there on the blitz. And again, he makes a perfect throw, hits him on the face mask. You can't throw the ball any better than that.
Yeah, what a throw there by Brian.
Georgia Southern definitely has a bright future with him playing quarterback as well.
Not a good sign. In the right end zone near the 3. It's Dalen Cobb being attended to by the trainers. We've talked about how Dalen Cobb has been an impact player tonight. Being able to throw the ball, run the ball, make catches.
This one again should have been an easy touchdown. Look like he kind of trips right before the ball gets there. I think he could have had 2 receiving touchdowns tonight along with his rushing touchdown.
We're going to take a break here on ESPN Plus. Eagles lead 38-17. Positive sign, seeing Dalen Cobb back on his feet, being helped off the field by the training staff. Jason, you mentioned that it could be cramping because we talked about how Dalen Cobb has done a little bit of everything offensively for Georgia Southern tonight.
Yeah, he's been all over the field, running fast, making plays. So hopefully it's just a hydration thing and his cramping, and he'll be ready for next week. I know the Eagles are definitely looking forward to having him.
Play resumes, 3rd and 6 in the 38. There are 12 minutes to play in the 4th. Bradshaw in motion. French back in at quarterback, gives to Jamarian Samuel. Samuel takes a hard hit, but will have enough for a first down.
Again, Georgia Southern just keeps putting more running backs in there. They're all doing the same thing, running just as hard. And you really can't tell a difference when they have the ball the way they're hitting the hole.
The Eagles continue to execute on 3rd down, now 8 of 13 tonight. Just a massive improvement from the start of the first 2 weeks in California to these last 2 weeks at home. Play action, French rolling right. Will wisely throw this one away.
Good pressure right there by the main defense. It looked like they were expecting that one. Again, JC did a good job of throwing the ball away, keeping themselves in the field goal range. But I think if you're Georgia Southern, you want to see this clock continue to run.
French 18 of 30 tonight, 237 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Season high in passing yards here tonight for French. Samuel. Oh, hurdled over a man. Tackled at 25.
Man, that shows his athleticism right there, running full speed to jump over a guy, trying to cut your legs out from under you. Dangerous play, but definitely shows off his athleticism.
Now a chance to utilize the deeper running back room for the Eagles. Samuel getting a couple of carries. Being his third on the night. They're honestly it's going to be 3rd and 4. Bryan at quarterback. I mean, you can't stop him. First down, and he stays on his feet. Takes a lot of men just to bring him down. And he's still up.
Yeah, I think anytime they've run this on 3rd down, I believe they picked it up every time tonight. And you know it's coming, but they do such a good job of executing this play. You can tell they love to run.
I know it's up to Bryan on whether he wants to play the rest of the season. Coach Helton says he wants to. I think he should keep that decision because that is another weapon and an option. You see the encouragement he gets from Josh Dallas on the sideline.
He's definitely vital to the Georgia Southern offense. So making that decision for him to play, I think you definitely want to consider it because they got a chance to, win the conference with him in the game.
Play clock was winding down.
Timeout, Georgia Southern.
The Eagles will use their first timeout of the half. You saw Josh Dallas there. We mentioned that he was out for tonight's game, was also out last week. There have been some injuries to Georgia Southern early in this season. Have been without Josh Dallas tonight. Offense is why you've seen different receivers stepping up in his absence. Defensively, Chance Gamble, defensive back, he's out tonight for the 2nd straight game, and you've seen the defensive backs make some big-time plays. And up front on the defensive line, the Eagles without Latrell Bullard, but it seems like it's next man on mentality. It has to be. Defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey spoke on that and how you have to have that mindset and mentality.
Yeah, you definitely got to have that mentality because, unfortunately, in football, the injuries do occur. But this right here, early on, gives everybody experience when it's game time and to make crucial plays. So I think these are vital for these guys to get into the game early on.
See 71 plays from Georgia Southern tonight. There's a lot of opportunities for different players overall. Samuel on first down, short game. I mean, this is just all experience that when you get deeper into Sunbelt play, you have different players that can step up at any given moment, and you won't miss a beat when those players come in.
Right, and that's what you're trying to establish early on in the year by giving these guys experience. You don't want to put the person in the game and just run the football and never give them a chance or just throw it. You want them to be in vital situations and crucial situations, I should say, to make a play.
Empty backfield on 2nd down. French throws, catch made by Brown. Be 1st and goal, tackled at the 1.
Yeah, Georgia Southern's playing with some tempo right here, trying to get this ball in the end zone quickly, trying to avoid it and make sure this ball was caught.
Over 500 yards of offense tonight. And this drive capped off with a touchdown. Jamarian Samuel gets his first on the year.
Definitely a great feeling getting your first touchdown, especially being at home. Jamarian Samuel right here takes the ball. He just kind of sticks up in there, shows off his power and grit, and trying to drag in defenders into the end zone.
One additional thing about Georgia Southern, they've had trouble scoring in the second half in their first 3 games. This is a positive. 14 points in the 3rd quarter. PAT from Bryant will give the Eagles 14 points in the fourth. 45-17. Jamarian Samuel, the redshirt senior from Ocala, Florida. His first rushing touchdown on the year. Caps off a 9-play drive, 42 yards, 3:43 off the clock. Under 9 minutes to play in the fourth. 45-17 Eagles on ESPN+. (45-17 Eagles. Sky Taylor has an injury update on Dalen Cobb.
I checked on an injury update for Dalen Cobb, and I was told that he is all good, just having some cramping, and he is back down here on the sidelines walking around, and he's got his helmet on.
Thanks, Sky. And you see what Cobb has done tonight: a reception touchdown, receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, 49 receiving yards. And you had mentioned it, Jason, the best case scenario there, just dealing with some cramping.
Yeah, he's been, like I said, been all over the field, playing hard. Just give him a little rest, give him some water, get him out of the game.
Quick kick out of bounds.
Ready for next
Ball will
week.
be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Kick from Evan Scruggs that goes out of bounds will have Maine start from the 35. So a big deficit right now for the Black Bears. What's the message if you're head coach Jordan Stevens as they get back on offense?
I know he wants to see them finish and continue to fight. They've had some good drives, and they also had their opportunities to score. So I know that's going to come up. But right now, he definitely wants to see them fight to the finish and see if they can punch one here at the end of the game.
Find some kind of momentum just in general, because next week the Black Bears go back to CAA play. They're back home against North Carolina A&T. Sincere Baines on the carry, short gain. Also, Caden Dressing back in at quarterback. We saw a bit of Dressing late in the first half.
Yeah, they did a little switch up with him earlier on. Had a couple of good plays on him, so I guess they're just going back to see if they can generate a little bit of offense. Like you said, getting back into conference play, they want to be kind of hitting on all cylinders, at least playing better before that starts.
And that's another thing that Coach Stevens mentioned, just being able to do a better job playing complementary football, just being able to carry some consistency, put together some drives, and be more explosive. And also play in a controlled manner when they aren't doing things that hurt themselves. Catch made on the flat to Rashawn Marshall.
I think they had their chances tonight to make the big plays. Again, they had the one in the end zone where he chose to throw the wheel route instead of the crossing route. Then you had the deep post over here where they just overthrow it. And again, you put those two scores on the board, yet looking at 31 points, maybe a different outcome for the game.
Yeah, they started off really well, especially capitalizing off the 3-and-out from the Eagles offense to start this game. Carter Peavy, a 27-yard touchdown run.
And I believe it's positive. I don't think they even had any turnovers this game, have they?
They get their first third down completion down the sideline and out at the end. What a play. Just open. Gianni Rosita making the catch.
I feel like Georgia Southern loses track of a guy right there. He's wide open. Gianni Rosita does a great job trying to make a guy miss and getting some yardage.
Now you have another player down for Georgia Southern. That's Quan McGinney. Junior from Mobile, Alabama, transfer from Arkansas State. Coach Helton and defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey spoke highly of McGinney, getting him back last week and how he can make an impact on the defensive line.
Right, Georgia Southern rolls a lot of defensive linemen in, and with Quan McGinney just adding depth. Again, he's a phenomenal player, especially at the point of contact. As you see him, when the ball's run right at him, he's very hard to move.
6'2", 310 pounds. He walks off on his own power. I mean, as this game gets deep, I mean, we could see this more cramping overall. We saw it from Dalen Cobb.
Right, I think this is a four-quarter game. You're going to see these guys cramping up. Something they got to get used to, right? You pull them out early, you don't get used to the playing time. So it's kind of one of the things you got to fight through.
It's more of that conditioning, especially when you're playing in Southeast Georgia.
Yeah, it gets hot.
You've had a number of those games where you may have been cramping up by the end of a couple. Drezik, good protection, throw incomplete.
I was actually a heavy cramp, so I definitely know that feeling.
Do you remember, what was the worst game you remember where you cramped the most?
I think we played at Coastal Carolina as we came from here. And again, after a couple runs, your legs cramp up and you can't get it right till you get to the halftime. You're trying to get in cool air, trying to drink all the liquids. So it's definitely something that can hinder you.
7:08 to play. 2nd and 10. Up the middle, taken down. Marshall on the carry. I mean, I mentioned it for Dalen Cobb, looked like a young Jason Foster because they did everything you did. I mean, you had a season, Jason, where you had a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, a special teams touchdown. You've done it all yourself.
Right. Again, Georgia Southern gave me the opportunity to make those plays. And with Cobb, again, I wish he'd have threw the pass a little bit longer because he could have replicated that, but had a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a rushing touchdown in one game, as well as the kick return. So maybe he'll get him a punt return later as well.
Quick throw near side. Ortega with the catch. Tackled inside the 30. He will be short of a first down. But you got another Eagle slow to get up in Devin Lowe. He's back up and will stay in the game. Bears offense will stay on the field for 4th and 3.
That was a new wrinkle to the Bears offense right there, running a double screen to both sides. Just picking which one you want to go to. Again, a good receiver did a good job of getting close to the sticks.
On 4th down, Drezik. Near side, pass caught by Marshall. He'll get the first. And that is a positive sign. He's being able to get a 4th down completion if you're Maine.
Right, anytime you can convert, especially on 4th down, is a positive sign. They ran the play like they're supposed to, and he checked it down. The guy got upfield and made a first down. Now they're going to look to build off this and see if they can punch this ball into the end zone before this clock runs out.
And now under 6 minutes to play. Be the 8th play of the drive for the Black Bears.
If you're Coach Bailey, you want to see Georgia Southern stand up and keep this ball out of the end zone as well.
Drezik still at quarterback. Marshall. It's just these small 2-3 yard plays that can just build up and hopefully for Maine into the score.
Yeah, you want to leave this game with something positive, especially your last drive, something you can remember. Then you got a new quarterback in, got a different running back. Look like they're switching. Got a right guard that's injured right now. So they got a couple new guys here on offense. You want to punch the ball in with them is give them confidence going into conference play.
Jack Buddha running off the field was the starting right guard. New pieces in for the Black Bears. Drezik rolling left. Incomplete. Had McKevitt, just couldn't hang on to the ball. Flag on the play, thrown at the 8.
There is a flag on the play.
Looks like it'll be on Georgia Southern.
Fired for 5. Holding an eligible receiver. Defense number 28. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Defensive holding on Elijah McDowell, from Elijah McDowell. Chance for the Eagles to bring in some additional players on defense.
And these are vital reps for these guys as well, because again, there's always the next man up mentality. And again, with Maine trying to score the football, it's going to be some very crucial reps.
1st and 10 from the 15. Laughlin flips it to Ewing. Ewing gets inside the 10.
Maine's trying to pull out some reverse plays right here, but again, a good job by Elijah McDowell coming back from the holding penalty of containing this football and getting his eyes up and seeing this reverse happen.
This may be the longest drive we have seen from Maine tonight, so definitely a positive. Be the 10th play coming up here.
Yeah, and I know both coordinators are down for the kids to either make or stop or punch this ball in the end zone, so they're not giving up any yardage right here. They're fighting and clawing to the end.
Bouncing out Marshall, fighting his way inside the 5. And when it comes to the running game for Maine tonight, it's been more by committee. I mean, Sincere Baines only 7 carries, Nick Laughlin with 6, Marshall right there getting his 7th.
Yeah, Maine's working all 3 running backs in because I think they're all going to 3 have to play when they get into conference play. And the deeper you can go in the running back room, the better your offense will be for sure.
1st and goal from the 5. Drezig, quick throw. And like a one-handed attempt from Marshall.
Again, Drezig, he's making the right read. Just got to sit there and make that throw. I think Georgia Southern did the same thing earlier, and I think he threw it high and he tripped up and didn't get the first down. But also Georgia Southern got to correct that. This is the second or third time they blitzed the corner and the guy in the flat's wide open.
Also, the running game has mainly been the driving force for Maine. Haven't seen much in the air. It's 122 yards passing. Drezig 5 of 8 for 39 yards. Flag on the play.
False start. Offense, number 80, 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
False start on Elijah Small as the tight end. Under 3 minutes to play. Be the 11th play, or rather 12th play of the drive.
Maine's put together a couple long drives. They just need to cap this off with an offensive touchdown.
Drezig, end zone, incomplete. I mean, a lot of these throws by both Drezig and Peavy have been on the money. It's been a bit too far ahead of the receiver.
Yeah, it's kind of the story of the night. They've had the plays and had the shots called. Right now, just can't get it homed in. Like I said, a little tall, a little long, a little high. But I think they can get these throws down. They have some offensive touchdowns.
Well, we saw our first 3rd down completion in this drive from Maine. 1 of 11 overall. 3rd and goal from the 10. Drezig will go to the end zone again. The catch was made, but Arteaga was out of bounds.
Again, same type of thing. They had to throw there. Great throw. You just got to keep them in bounds.
The offense is down the field.
And if you coach Bailey for Georgia Southern, you need to see a pass rush right here. It's 4th down. Everybody's sucking wind, but you got to get to the quarterback right here.
Brandon Bailey talked about this week raising the standard. All about the process, not the result. But you want to have another turnover on downs here especially in the red zone. Black Bears 1 of 4. Drezick, pocket collapsing. He'll scramble. Still has time. Backtracking, throws, intercepted. McDowell with the pick. And that's one way to get a result.
Yeah, I know Georgia Southern's loving that. Coach Helton's getting an interception, trying to win this turnover, but I know Georgia Southern had to get late in the game to get a turnover. Speaks volumes for your defense, the way to keep fighting, to keep playing. Drezick, he's just trying to make a play right here. They try to fake the screen and up. Georgia Southern covers it well. He's just trying to buy time, and just get the ball up there and give his teammates a chance.
Saw Drezick trying to extend the play as long as he could, but sometimes better just to throw that ball away.
Yeah, unfortunately it was 4th down, so he had to get up in there, but yeah, you're right. You got to throw it away at some point.
The Eagles will have it at the 20. New quarterback in Turner Helton. Handoff to Terrence Gibbs. Or correction, a new running back in for Georgia Southern. This is Teo Todd.
Nasir Christmas coming in on the tackle right there. He's getting some time in as well. Again, it's going to be valuable snaps for him going forward.
This is pretty cool. Son of Clay Helton. Turner getting his Paulson Stadium debut. Had a cool moment getting to play at Southern Cal a few weeks ago. Late in the 4th quarter of that game. Especially all the memories that Turner has had when his father Clay was the head coach for USC. That takes us to the 2-minute timeout. The Eagles will close this game after the break, leading 45-17. Defense all smiles with the interception from Elijah McDowell. Eagles up 45-17, final non-conference game of the year. It is all Sun Belt play from here on out. The Eagles open up the league play on the road at James Madison. Teo Todd maybe gets a yard there, but Georgia Southern will improve to 2-2, which is in a good spot overall, especially just given how the Eagles started out the season in their West Coast road trip, bouncing back inside Paulson Stadium these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it looked like two totally different teams on the West Coast trip. They struggled, especially late in the games, giving up a lot of yards. But the last 2 games, they've definitely cleaned it up, and you see the offense is starting to click. Is what you want to have going into conference play.
I think the biggest thing is after the James Madison game next Saturday, the Eagles will have a bye week.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Legal substitution penalty.
It's third down
on the Eagles. Their third down coming up. But also it benefits Georgia Southern, along with that bye week after JMU. Another back-to-back stretch of home game. The midweek matchup against Southern Miss, that'll be interesting there. The former Marshall coach now at Southern Miss coming back to Statesboro. We all remember how that game went last year when the Eagles took on the Thundering Herd, and then an in-state rivalry against Georgia State right after.
Yeah, they got some big games coming up. Like I said, they want to get healthy, come out of here against James Madison. And you want to stay rolling on offense and defense. Then you get that off week, able to recover. Then you head into a 5-6 straight weeks of conference play. So this is important to close out this game the right way.
Another running back in, and Bryce Baker making the catch. Clay Helton talked about how deep the running back room is. Yes, they rotate between 3 to 4 running backs, but you have 2 other running backs like Todd and Baker waiting for their opportunity. It just shows the future of the running back room going forward.
Yeah, Georgia Southern has a great problem. The more depth you have at running back, which we mentioned earlier, the better off your team will be. And then when you're able to hand this ball off to any of the running backs, getting 5 and 6 yards, they all look the same once they get the ball.
Flag right, the whistle is blown right before the punt from Alex Smith, and a flag on the play.
Illegal substitution, or correction, delay of game on the kicking team. The ball snapped prior for the substitution process to end. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Delay of game, back-to-back penalties here for the Eagles. No, that's not one thing that Clay Helton wants to see. They want to finish strong, not have these mistakes. It's been a difference tonight compared to the first 3 weeks where they played clean and had limited penalties.
Yeah, tonight it's the
Please
game
reset
started
the
a
game
little
clock to
sloppy.
1:23. Thank you.
A little sloppy to start and also a little sloppy to finish. You got a bunch of new guys working in. This is why you want to get them in so they know the situation and the urgency that they need to have.
It's the 8th penalty on the night, just 2 for Maine. Pitt Smith a bit further back, but gets it across midfield. Fair catch called at the 46. A lot of Georgia Southern fans were iffy after the California trip, but getting back home to Paulson Stadium, especially with the turnout last Saturday night with almost 25,000 in attendance and a great crowd on hand tonight for back-to-back home games. So definitely a step in the right direction. 23,217 fans tonight, and you got to credit the students. Some of the students from the student section still hanging out here in the 4th. And there's Gus poking his head around. It's a sign of positive things as Maine now on offense, first down run. You see new running back and Seaver Klefsis. Holden Trice makes the tackle. I know Maine drops to 0-4. Not the outcome that they wanted, especially when the first 3 games they've been in a possession going into the 4th quarter, but a lot of positives. It just shows that Maine can capitalize when opposing teams make mistakes. They did that tonight.
Yeah, they did a good job. Anytime they got a turnover, they went down and put points on the board. And again, I think they were down 2 scores going into the 4th quarter tonight. Georgia Southern just kind of overwhelmed them in the end, and kind of what the coach spoke about, trying to finish strong.
Ty Stevens making the catch. How about that mask? Got to get one of those. But, you know, for Maine, you learn a couple of things here tonight. Adversity on the road, especially with how they capitalize off of mistakes in the first half. They scored first in this game. You've seen the production from Carter Peavy on his feet as Drezik tried to get that ball out, but just awkward throw and had to throw it again.
Yeah, that takes some talent to throw it to yourself and catch it and throw it out of bounds. But for Maine, again, I think let's see, rolling out. Oh, yeah, that ball's fortunate enough to catch it back. Right. But for Maine, I think there's a lot to build on. They had the shot plays.
Intentional
like you said, they just overthrew it.
Offense. Quarterback was outside the tackle box. However, there was no receiver in the area, and the ball did not cross the line of scrimmage.
Move the Black Bears
Defense has elected to use a timeout in order for a 10-second runoff. Timeout, Maine. 30-second timeout.
Timeout. And that was the one when we talked with the Black Bears coaching staff. I mean, they found a lot of positives through the first 3 weeks.
Penalty includes loss of down.
And they'll have some positive takeaways here tonight as well. They've made some progression. I mean, you saw a lot of great throws made by the quarterbacks in Peavy and Dresden, but it's something they got to change going with NCA&T at home next Saturday.
Right, they got a big game at home next Saturday. But like you said, they did have a lot of positive. Earlier on, we didn't see any downfield throws. You watched the tape earlier. Tonight, they took their shots. And again, I think they had people open, but just missed the throw. So they're going to have to go back to practice. And they can hone in on those. I think they can get some wins in their conference.
That's the biggest thing for Maine. Non-conference game for them. And they'll have an opportunity to get better. Hopefully a learning moment here in Statesboro. Take the lessons learned and apply that as they jump back into CAA play. And they'll also have one more non-conference game later on in the year against Merrimack after having an early CAA game at William & Mary on week 2. 2nd and 35 with the intentional grounding call that was made from Drezig. 20 seconds to go. Georgia Southern going to improve to 2-2 before starting Sun Belt play. Maine will drop to 0-4. Low snap. Short game from Clefsis.
C.J. Allen Jr. in on the tackle right there, gets some playing time. Nice tackle to end the game.
Georgia Southern had some struggles to start the game, but remained poised. And offensive output in the second half with 28 points. And they win another home game in Paulson Stadium. Final score 45-17. Back-to-back wins that scored 40-plus. First time since Clay Helton's first season 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Our offense scoring 40-plus both games. Again, heading to conference play. Hopefully they're trying to keep that momentum going as they travel to James Madison. And I know there's something they're going to try to build off of.
Everybody getting involved offensively, whether it be passing, rushing, or receiving. J.C. French, 19 of 31. 253 yards, a season high, 1 touchdown, also had the interception. How about O.J. Arnold? Passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. You have Dalen Cobb, who gets a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Camden Brown, a receiving touchdown. Jamarian Samuel, his first rushing touchdown on the year, and also Weston Bryan finding the end zone too.
Yeah, Georgia Southern spreading the wealth right there. Again, it makes it harder for other teams to scout you when they know everybody can put the ball in the end zone. So the more you put on film, the more the defense has to learn about your offense.
Also over 500 yards of total offense in the win. Step in the right direction. As Clay Helton said, this game was their last dress rehearsal before conference, and they end it on a high note. Back-to-back wins in Paulson. Our own Sky Taylor standing by for our players of the game, J.C. French and Dalen Cobb.
JC, you had your 5th touchdown on the season tonight. How does it feel to continue to help lead this team to success?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think the O-line did a great job tonight and the receivers as well. I think I got to play a cleaner game going into conference play next week, so I'm super excited.
How important is it to have a good communication with your wideouts like Dalen Cobb over here?
Yeah, it's everything because the offense goes through the quarterback. It's super important that we're on the same page, and when we are, good stuff happens.
Thanks, JC.
Thank you.
Dalen, you were also electric tonight. You had one receiving touchdown and one rushing touchdown. And we also even saw you throw it some. How are you out here just doing everything?
I mean, when I got a teammate beside me who's gonna do his job, it's easy for me to do my job. So, yeah.
Coach Helton said that tonight was a dress rehearsal for conference play. How do you feel after winning back-to-back home games for you going into conference play next week?
I mean, I feel good, but you can't get too high, get too low. We just got to keep working towards our goal, which is the championship.
Thanks so much. Congrats.
Thank you.
As defensive coordinator Brandon Bailey said, it was all about the process and continuing to make that process from week to week as Georgia Southern winning 45-17 in Paulson. Now they get ready for Sunbelt play next weekend at James Madison. Maine now 0-4, but they'll bounce back as they get back into CAA play next weekend against North Carolina A&T. So for Jason Foster and Sky Taylor, I'm Danny Walsh saying so long from Paulson Stadium. Final score, Georgia Southern 45, Maine 17. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.